Chapter 758. Wei Long Manor Wei Yu and Yang Shi, you were twin sisters in their past life. Even though Yang Shi Yu has reincarnated, their sisterly love is still deep. It is also because of this that Yu did not kill Qin Yun after he entered the Nether Moon Desolate Domain. Sister Bing Xing, is your relationship with Yu good? Qin Yun asked. Not bad, Bing Xing said. Where is Xiao Xianqin? In my previous life, I was called Yue Qin. Qin Yun said again. As long as it's someone from the Guanghan Palace, our relationship is pretty good. Bing Xing said. Why are you asking this? Qin Yun was somewhat puzzled as he asked. Why did I pester your moon palace in my previous life? Could it be a coincidence? Bing Xing coldly snorted. Because the disciples of Guanghan Palace are all very outstanding. They have powerful factions and families backing them, and they have all kinds of treasures on them. Everyone wants to take advantage of us. That's right, Qin Yun said with a smile. Moreover, you are all very beautiful. Bing Xing glanced at Qin Yun and said coldly, Aren't you going to the Sword Immortal Pavilion? Of course I'm going. I'll go find that little girl Jing Ming and play with her. Qin Yun said with a chuckle. She's in seclusion. Cultivate mental power in the fantasy field. Bing Xing said. Qin Yun really wanted to find the cute and innocent little girl Lu Jingming. Now, it could only dispel the idea. Bing Xing said again. Shuriwei said that she gave you the Star Lord inscription spirit. Did you fuse with it? Qin Yun hurriedly nodded. Yes. She's currently being watched by many powers. You have to quickly become stronger, and don't let her be bullied. Bing Xing warned. I will. Qin Yun's expression immediately became serious. Although Yang Shi Yu was safe on Demon Moon Island, that was only temporary. One must know that everyone now believes that the Star Lord inscription spirit is still in Yang Shi Yu's hands. Furthermore, Yang Shi Yu also possessed the immortal moon origin, which was also an extremely precious treasure. Qin Yun quietly left the Immortal Weapon Palace and headed towards the Sword City where the Sword Immortal Pavilion is located. After the Sword Immortal Pavilion was attacked by the powerful devil sects of the Devil Xian Domain last time, they also built the Sword Island very big. Furthermore, it has 2 floors. After all, the Sword Immortal Pavilion wants to gather all the Jian family members in the Spirit Desolate Ordinary Realm. Therefore, it must be big. Only the Jian family and the Long family would be able to achieve such a scale. As for the Long family, they seem to know about the Jian family's plot. Qin Yun walked out of the Immortal Weapon City's city gate and saw a black-clothed masked man riding a very strong horse in the distance. This aura seems very familiar. Qin Yun looked from afar and sensed a trace of familiar and formidable aura. It's Long Xiaofeng. Qin Yun is pleasantly surprised. Qin Yun's face was plastered with a beard. His long hair covered half his face. Furthermore, his hair was somewhat white. He wore coarse gray clothes and did not release any aura. It was very difficult to recognize him as Qin Yun. He passed in front of Long Xiaofeng, but Long Xiaofeng did not recognize him. Xiaofeng, I am Qin Yun. Qin Yun sent sound transmission to Long Xiaofeng. Long Xiaofeng, who was wearing black clothes and riding a horse, stopped and said in a low voice, Come up. Qin Yun lightly jumped onto the horse and sat on Long Xiaofeng's back. Hold me tightly, Long Xiaofeng softly said. Qin Yun embraced Long Xiaofeng's slender waist and said with a smile, All right, let's go. Long Xiaofeng rode the horse and brought Qin Yun away from the Immortal Weapon City. The direction they're going is not Sword Island. Xiaofeng, were you waiting for me outside the city? Qin Yun asked. Indeed, I predicted that you would return within this period of time, so I came outside the city to wait for you. Long Xiaofeng said, You women's premonition is truly dreadful. Qin Yun said with a smile. He hugged Long Xiaofeng from behind, placed his chin on Long Xiaofeng's shoulder, and sensed the enchanting fragrance of Long Xiaofeng's body. Long Xiaofeng said, I was only holding onto a trace of hope, did not expect that you would truly return. Qin Yun, I will now bring you to Long family's Wei Long Manor. Why are we going to Long family? Qin Yun asked with frown. Proud Star states Long family's experts are participating in the Sword Martial Assembly. Long Xiaofeng said, Long family's power is very strong now, so they're very arrogant. They believe that no one will dare to rob them. Xiaofeng, are you bringing me to Long family to loot them clean? Qin Yun immediately became spirited. Don't even think about looting them clean. Didn't you say you want to capture a dragon? Long Xiaofeng said. Qin Yun is somewhat worried about Long Xiaofeng and asked, will they suspect you? Long Xiaofeng said, I've already found a way out. I am preparing to rely on Fire Moon City. Fire Moon City is also a one-moon sect. It is also a power dominated by women. Let's go to Demon Moon Island. I will introduce you. Qin Yun placed his hand on Long Xiaofeng's abdomen, and since that she has cultivated Xian Dao core, she is a Xian martial realm martial monarch. It seems like the large number of stars falling from the remote Moon Mountain range has greatly benefited many people. I originally wanted to go to Demon Moon Island. Back then it was Yuelan who received me. She said that would be better for me to go to Fire Moon City, and then she helped me contact Fire Moon City's people. On the surface, Fire Moon City and Demon Moon Island's relationship is not good, but in secret, they are allies. Long Xiaofeng said. Qin Yun also mentioned Long Xiaofeng's matter to Xiao Yuelan before, so Qin Yun does not find it strange that Xiao Yuelan arranged this matter. Long family's Wei Long Manor is not inside a city, rather it is inside a mountain range. A great number of huge mountains have been flattened to create a very large flat land to build the manor, and the surrounding huge mountains are used to set up formation. Qin Yun and Long Xiaofeng arrived inside the Wei Long mountain range and passed through a forest. He looked at the sky in the distance. There is a very strong 9-sun spiritual energy condensed there. There is a very large formation ahead. Qin Yun exclaimed in admiration. And that is where Long family is located. Long Xiaofeng nodded her head. Xiaofeng, how did you cultivate to Xian martial realm? Your progress is very fast. I'm still peak stage, spirit martial realm. You still haven't broken through? Long Xiaofeng is somewhat amazed. I wasted a few years of time. It is not easy to come out of the Nether Moon desolate domain. Qin Yun sighed. Remote Moon Mountain Range is now called Star Cloud Holy Land. Stars frequently fall from there. I don't know what is going on. In short, it has given birth to a great amount of resources. My luck is pretty good. I obtained many things inside and broke through. Long Xiaofeng said. I thought Long family would vigorously nurture you. Qin Yun said. Dream on. They are not that kind-hearted. You don't know, they're now plotting against me. They want to take away my phoenix martial spirit and gift it to other geniuses. Long Xiaofeng's face is filled with anger as she spoke about this matter. At this time, they have also been blocked by a barrier. Qin Yun tried to use mysterious penetration divine ability to pass through, then he brought Long Xiaofeng through the barrier. There are still several tall mountains ahead. Because they are near Wei Long Manor, they don't dare to fly, they can only carefully walk. Qin Yun, you have the Devil Star Overlord. You should be able to resist martial emperors and martial kings, right? Long Xiaofeng suddenly asked. This, my Devil Star Overlord, is sleeping. Qin Yun said. Long Xiaofeng promptly pulled Qin Yun and started walking back. Xiaofeng, what is it? Qin Yun hastily asked. You don't have the Devil Star Overlord. It will be very dangerous. Long Xiaofeng lightly groaned and said, why didn't you say so earlier? Wei Long Manor only doesn't have half immortals. They still have martial emperors and martial kings. Qin Yun said with a smile. No need to worry. Let's sneak in and take a look first. Long Xiaofeng is very determined. She doesn't want Qin Yun to take any risk. I have already come. I can't just go back like this. Qin Yun said. No way. It is too dangerous. You just came out of Nether Moon desolate domain. What if you get caught? Long Xiaofeng firmly hugged Qin Yun's arm, not letting him go. Qin Yun thought about it and said, Xiaofeng, I have refined some Xian talismans that can bring down many meteorites, even stars. If the situation is not good, I will use those talismans to create a great commotion, and then I can escape. Really? Long Xiaofeng also thought about remote Moon Mountain Range. She saw stars falling with her own eyes. It was very dreadful. Of course it's true, Qin Yun said with mischievous smile. How about this? I will go scout first and see how many martial kings and martial emperors Long family left behind. Long Xiaofeng thought about it and felt that this will be a bit more stable. All right, I will wait for you here, Qin Yun said, then took out a necklace and handed it over. This is a sound transmission necklace. Wear it and permeate your mental power into it. Then you'll be able to contact me. This necklace is very beautiful. It was crafted by Qin Yun in Nether Moon Desolate Domain. Yao Feng also helped him. Long Xiaofeng promptly took it and wore it. This is a very high-grade item. It must be known that many people only use sound transmission conch. Not to mention it is big. It is also not good-looking. Qin Yun can carve complex star and moon runes on a very small necklace. That is why it is so small. Long Xiaofeng repeatedly warned Qin Yun to wait for her here, then quickly rushed towards Wei Long Manor. Qin Yun naturally won't listen to Long Xiaofeng. After Long Xiaofeng left, he turned himself transparent and followed her. After crossing over a few mountains, Qin Yun arrived at the top of a mountain and saw the huge Wei Long Manor. It looks like a super huge city. Wei Long Manor is surrounded by layers upon layers of huge mountains. Powerful inscription masters can use these huge mountains to set up a very strong defensive formation. I don't know whether or not Xing Chun can break this great formation. Qin Yun can now clearly sense Wei Long Manor's formidable defense. Long Xiaofeng entered Wei Long Manor. Qin Yun carefully followed behind her. Long Xiaofeng did not discover him. Long Xiaofeng also took off her mask, revealing her ice-cold and beautiful face. Long Xiaofeng can sense great danger in Long family, so she has never had a good expression. Long Xiaofeng is walking on a large road towards the center of Wei Long Manor. She met many people on the way, but none of them greeted her. It can be seen that her position is very low. At dusk, she arrived at a large courtyard. Yo, Big Miss Xiaofeng, did you not go to Sword Immortal Pavilion? A young man spoke. He looked at Long Xiaofeng from head to toe. I didn't want to go, so I came back. I've been traveling for a whole day. I want to rest. Chapter 759. Man-eating devil dragon Qin Yun is also hiding and watching. He did not expect Long Xiaofeng to live in this kind of place. It is no wonder she has no good impression of Long family. Long Xiaofeng, we thought you would be gone for a period of time, so we used your room to raise wild boars. If you don't mind, you can come to my room to rest. I will accompany you to rest. A middle-aged man laughed loudly and said. Others also roared with laughter. After Long Xiaofeng heard this, she promptly turned around and left the courtyard. Just as she was about to leave, she saw a few old men appear at the entrance of the courtyard. One of them is a black-clothed old man. His expression is very gloomy and dreadful. You all. Long Xiaofeng's expression slightly changed when she saw that black-clothed old man. Xiaofeng, as soon as you came back, someone notified us. Congratulations, you obtained a rare opportunity to serve Long family. The black-clothed old man laughed sinisterly. You are a Long family disciple, but you awakened an extra phoenix martial spirit now. Hee. Qin Yun heard Long Xiaofeng say before that Long family wants to take away her phoenix martial spirit. And now, they're taking advantage of this opportunity to take action. Other people in the courtyard also surrounded Long Xiaofeng one after another, not letting her leave. That black-clothed old man is a martial king. There are also many Xian martial realm experts. Long Xiaofeng is surrounded. She feels very helpless. Her face is filled with despair. She cannot help but touch her necklace and send sound transmission to Qin Yun. Qin Yun, you should go back first. There's still half immortals in Long family. It is very dangerous. Qin Yun immediately received Long Xiaofeng's sound transmission. He is watching from the side. It is just that Long Xiaofeng doesn't know. Long Xiaofeng lied to him to make him leave Long family. It must be known that Qin Yun is the only person Long Xiaofeng can ask for help, but she gave up because she is worried that she would implicate Qin Yun. This caused Qin Yun to be secretly moved. The people surrounding Long Xiaofeng all have repulsive expression, especially some people who are worse than beasts. They are clamoring to make Long Xiaofeng their plaything. Everyone knows that if Long Xiaofeng's martial spirit is taken away, she will become a cripple. However, Long Xiaofeng is also a very beautiful woman. Proud Star states, famous great beauty. Even though she has been crippled, there are still many people who want to have sex with her. Even if I die, I won't let you have your way. Long Xiaofeng's ice-cold voice contained a trace of sorrow. Looking at the helpless and despairing Long Xiaofeng, Qin Yun can't help but recall, when he was a child, he was surrounded by a group of people and had his spirit vein extracted. This aroused the anger in his heart. As the sky darkened, Qin Yun used shadow power to merge with the darkness. The black-robed old man walking towards Long Xiaofeng was clearly a soul refiner. At that moment, a few Xian martial realm middle-aged men grabbed Long Xiaofeng. The black-clothed old man's status was very high. After all, he was a rare soul refiner. He took out a pearl and said with a sinister smile, "Phoenix martial spirit, this is a divine beast martial spirit. It's such a waste on you." Long Xiaofeng wanted to self-destruct, but she did not succeed. She could only struggle with all her might and loudly curse these people. The black-costume old man grinned and extended the black bead. Everyone is looking at the black bead because next, Long Xiaofeng's martial spirit will be extracted. While everyone's attention is focused on the black bead, Qin Yun quietly arrived behind the black-clothed old man. The black-clothed old man is completely focused on controlling the strange bead, making it release a devouring power. "Go to hell, you old bastard." Qin Yun took out the nether spirit's sacred blade and stabbed the old man's head. All of this happened too suddenly. No one expected that the powerful martial king, who had a very strong defensive magic treasure on him, would have his head pierced through in an instant. The weapon that pierced the old man's head is a broken saber filled with cracks. This is the nether spirit's sacred blade. The most dreadful thing is that after the saber pierced through, it directly devoured the old man's soul. Shwa shwa shwa. Soon after, a few throwing knives pierced through. These throwing knives were strengthened by Qin Yun with Yao Fang's power and carved with star and moon runes. Ordinary Xian martial realm martial monarchs, without good defensive armor, would only have their lives reaped. Most of the Xian martial realm martial monarchs here are trash. Otherwise, they would have already followed Qin Yun to the Sword Immortal Pavilion. In the dark night, the courtyard is very quiet. There are many corpses lying on the ground. Qin Yun controlled the throwing knives to fly back and helped Long Xiaofeng up. When Long Xiaofeng saw the throwing knives appear, she realized that Qin Yun has arrived. "You stupid woman, I have been following you." Qin Yun pinched her face. "You actually wanted to deceive me." Long Xiaofeng lowered her head. Her face is filled with tears. "All right, don't cry." Qin Yun wiped the tears from her face. "Thank you." Long Xiaofeng sniffled and wiped away her tears. "When I first met you, you were afraid of death and pain. But now you are not afraid of anything. This is a great improvement," Qin Yun said with a chuckle. Then he took out a storage bag and stored all the corpses inside. Long Xiaofeng doesn't know how to thank Qin Yun. She only feels that she owes Qin Yun a lot. No matter what, she can never repay this kindness. "Qin Yun, you are truly awesome. You clearly don't have Xian martial realm cultivation, but you can kill so many people in a short while." Long Xiaofeng exclaimed in admiration. "I am an inscription master. Let's go. Quickly take me to that dragon," Qin Yun said with a smile. He pulled Long Xiaofeng and used shadow power to make Long Xiaofeng merge with the darkness. He told Long Xiaofeng to take the dark path so that no one could see them. The reason why Qin Yun helped Long Xiaofeng so much before is also for today. It must be known that the dragons of Long family are very secretive. Even many disciples don't know about them. Long Xiaofeng also asked around for a long time before she found out where the dragon is. Now, she is leading Qin Yun to that place. If Long Xiaofeng did not lead the way, Qin Yun would not have thought that the dragon would be hiding inside an old house. That place looks like an abandoned area. No one lives there, and it is completely dark at night. "Is it here?" Qin Yun asked through voice transmission. It's below this area. Long Xiaofeng said, there's a very powerful barrier. Even divine ability power cannot penetrate it. Then we can only enter from the front door? Qin Yun said. Long Xiaofeng brought Qin Yun to the middle of the old house and saw a courtyard with 2 lanterns hanging at the entrance. Qin Yun immediately realized that the entrance to the underground area is inside that courtyard. The old house is at the northeast of Wei Long Manor. There are no buildings on the ground in the vicinity of this area. Moreover, there are many small hills here. There's no one inside the courtyard. Xiaofeng, where did the dragon come out from? Qin Yun asked through voice transmission. That dragon can transform into human, so it came out in human form. Long Xiaofeng looked at a rockery ahead and said, the entrance is over there. Qin Yun walked over to take a look and found a large iron gate. The iron gate is several meters tall, and there is a very strong barrier around it. Qin Yun cannot use mysterious penetration divine ability to enter, so he can only let Mo come out. There are 2 immortal origins inside the first pearl of Qin Yun's 9-sun divine soul. Mo is absorbing the energy inside, and her strange ability has increased by a lot. The petite and adorable little fairy came out and very quickly destroyed the runes on the barrier. Then she returned to the 9-sun divine soul. After the barrier was destroyed, Qin Yun and Long Xiaofeng used mysterious penetration divine ability to pass through the iron gate. After entering, the interior is pitch black. They very quickly arrived at the underground area. Although it is pitch black, it is very spacious. Xiao Yun, that dragon is very strong. Even martial emperors might not be able to deal with it. You must properly use the heavenly lion dragon suppressing cauldron. Ling Yuner said. Along with Qin Yun's mental power becoming stronger and stronger, his control over the heavenly lion's power becoming better and better. Using the heavenly lion dragon suppressing cauldron is also very easy. The heavenly lion dragon suppressing cauldron is very formidable when dealing with long family people or dragons. Oh, suddenly someone let out a deep roar. A burst of red light appeared in front of them. A middle-aged man with a head full of messy red hair slowly walked over. At this time, Qin Yun and Long Xiaofeng also saw that there are many corpses in this spacious underground plaza. That middle-aged man with red hair is even holding a thigh in his hand. Long family actually used corpses to raise dragons. In other words, that dragon is a devil beast. Only devil beasts like to eat people. Moreover, the more they eat, the stronger they become. Very good. I always wanted to eat something fresh. I didn't expect them to deliver it. Ha ha ha. The red-haired middle-aged man laughed loudly and said, clearly, that red-haired middle-aged man is the devil dragon that has transformed into a human. Long Xiaofeng is very nervous because she can feel how dreadful that dragon is. She tightly grabbed Qin Yun's hand. Qin Yun did not say much. He directly took out the heavenly lion dragon suppressing cauldron. As soon as the heavenly lion dragon suppressing cauldron appeared, the red-haired middle-aged man who was walking over while laughing could no longer laugh. The heavenly lion dragon suppressing cauldron fiercely covered the red-haired middle-aged man and released a powerful pressure that scared the red-haired middle-aged man to the point that he is unable to move. However, sensing danger, the red-haired middle-aged man also let out a loud roar. The powerful sound wave shook the earth. Boom! The heavenly lion dragon suppressing cauldron covered the red-haired middle-aged man's body and then gradually became smaller. Success, Qin Yun said with excited smile, then pulled Long Xiaofeng and quickly left the underground room. Just as they left the courtyard, they sensed the aura of more than 10 martial kings and martial emperors. That dragon's roar just now shook the entire Wei Long Manor. Those martial kings and martial emperors are very clear that there's a dragon in this area. That dragon has been raised by their Long family for many years. Qin Yun and Long Xiaofeng are both excited and somewhat worried because they are still inside the Wei Long Manor. Luckily, it is nighttime. Qin Yun used shadow power and brought Long Xiaofeng away from the Wei Long Manor's barrier and flew in the sky. Qin Yun, everyone knows that I came back and that soul refining master is dead, they will surely suspect me. Long Xiaofeng said, "What are you afraid of? After you change your appearance, you can hide inside Fire Moon City and not come out. Who will know about your matter?" Qin Yun said with smile, "But I am still worried that I will implicate Fire Moon City." Long Xiaofeng sighed and said, "Paper cannot wrap fire. Sooner or later people will find out." Qin Yun can understand Long Xiaofeng's worry, so he brought Long Xiaofeng back to a mortal weapon palace and explained the situation to Bing Xing. Chapter 760. Seven Swords Immortal Pavilion. Qin Yun did not know the exact situation of the Sword Martial Assembly. He only felt that it had little to do with him. After all, it was a game between several major forces. As an insignificant martial master, he did not wish to join in the fun. For Qin Yun to have such thoughts, he had underestimated himself, because Jian Shitian and others very much hope that Qin Yun will appear. During the last martial arts tournament, Qin Yun was only at the initial stage of the spirit martial realm. However, he turned the situation around and helped the Sword Immortal Pavilion recover a huge loss. Although Qin Yun planned to go to Sword Island, he did not plan to reveal himself. Because he was too far behind the others, he was worried about being laughed at. "Xiao Yun, there will definitely be fights in the Sword Martial Assembly. Don't you want to go up and take a look?" Ling Yun giggled. "Sai, I'm still a distance away from the Xian martial realm. The Sword Martial Assembly is a gathering of geniuses from several great states. Moreover, they're all Xian martial realm. If I go, I will just be looking for trouble." Qin Yun said, "You have a mortal and devil body. You can definitely make up for the gap." Ling Yun said, "If they were ordinary rookie martial monarchs, there would be no problem. But those are all geniuses. Everyone has a superpower behind them." Qin Yun sighed and said, "If I could use weapons, I would have nothing to be afraid of." If he were to use a weapon, Qin Yun would be able to win while lying down. Ling Yun giggled and said, "Only with difficulty can there be a challenge." Qin Yun thought for a moment and said, "All right, I will give it a try when the time comes." Sister Yang seems to have gone as well. Qin Yun traveled alone through the night and soon arrived at the bottom of Sword Island. On the way, he also met people who were heading toward Sword Island. Qin Yun looked up at the sky from below and was secretly shocked. There were two huge floating islands in the sky. The first was the Old Sword Island, which was smaller. As for the second Sword Island, it was tens of thousands of meters above the first Sword Island. It was even bigger. The entire island looked as if it was made of black iron and was extremely sturdy. The overall strength of the Jian family is truly terrifying. Without many Dao inscription masters, it is impossible to create such a powerful sky island. Qin Yun flew up in shock. The Old Sword Island below had not been abandoned. It still had a prosperous city. As for the Sword Island, it was mainly the Jian family's activity venue. Now that it was open to the public, it was only for the Sword Martial Assembly. After Qin Yun flew up, he stood in front of a large door and sensed the formidable barrier of the Sword Island. "I feel that if I use mysterious penetration divine ability, I should be able to penetrate it," Qin Yun thought to himself. To enter the Sword Island, one had to be a martial master of the spirit martial realm. Then, they had to pay 500,000 purple coins. Qin Yun lined up and entered the door. After testing his cultivation, he paid 500,000 purple coins and successfully entered. "Yume, quickly come out and welcome brother. I am at the gate." Qin Yun took out a sound transmission conch. This sound transmission conch was given to him by Xiao Xianqin. At that time, he did not plan to enter the Nether Moon Desolate Domain. So Xiao Xianqin gave him the conch and told him to go back and find Xiao Yume and the others. Xiao Yume's excited voice quickly came through the sound transmission conch. "Brother, stand there and don't move. I'll go over now." After Qin Yun entered the gate, he walked back and forth. At the same time, he also looked at the center of the Sword Island. In the center of the new Sword Island, there are 7 huge sharp swords. They are 1,000 meters tall, and they are stuck in the center, protecting the center area. With one look, One can tell that this is the core of the Sword Immortal Pavilion. Many people came in and looked at the 7 huge swords in the distance. They're all shocked. There are 7 Jin families in the Spirit Desolate. Each Jin family has a very powerful immortal sword. Now, they are making the immortal swords bigger and using them to set up formations. This is very awesome. Comparing the Jin family and the Long family, I wonder which one is more powerful. I heard that the Long family has 10 dragons. They're also very powerful. I feel that the Jin family is stronger because they are all sword cultivators. After cultivating the origin sword, they can easily jump levels and instantly kill people. The situation you're talking about is only in the situation where weapons are not used in martial arts competition. If weapons are used, the advantage of sword cultivators is not that great. A group of people are discussing if the Long family and the Jin family were to fight, who would win. Not long after, Qinyan saw a blue-clothed little girl with 2 ponytails. Her face is half covered, and she is skipping over. It is the little girl, Xiao Yuanmei. After Xiao Yuanmei arrived, she pulled Qinyan with a smile and said with charming smile, "Brother, I knew you would come back. Haha, the king has returned." Qinyan rubbed Xiao Yuanmei's cute and charming little face through the veil and said, "I have an important matter to discuss with you." Xiao Yuanmei pulled Qinyan and walked towards the wide street ahead. She said in low voice, "Brother, because you were not here, that guy Jian Nanhu became extremely arrogant. It is truly like when there is no tiger on the mountain. The monkey claims to be the overlord. You must go teach him a lesson." "Yuanmei, I have just reached peak spirit martial realm." Qinyan sighed. "It's fine. Even if that monkey Jian Nanhu is a martial king, you can definitely defeat him." Xiao Yuanmei tenderly groaned and said. Qinyan followed Yuanmei and walked towards a very tall pagoda. With a glance, he can tell that it is the Divine Inscription Palace. Xiao Yuanmei obtained a Xian Inscription Master Badge, so no matter where she goes, she can stay in the Divine Inscription Palace for free. It must be said that obtaining such a badge is very worthwhile. It allows her to stay in the luxurious Divine Inscription Palace every time she goes to a city. "Yuanmei, did Jian Nanhu bully you?" Qinyan asked. "That stupid monkey wants to bully me? He is not qualified." Xiao Yuanmei said with a disdainful expression. "Then why don't you participate in the Sword Martial Assembly's competition and kill him?" Qinyan said with a smile. If Jian Nanhu knew that Xiao Yuanmei called him a monkey, he would probably be so angry that he would directly kill him. "I have too many secrets on me. I don't want to expose them. Furthermore, I'm not very good at fighting." Xiao Yuanmei tenderly smiled and said, "Brother, go and sign up. Defeat Jian Nanhu and then tell him that you are Qinyan." Xiao Yuanmei saw that Qinyan is indifferent and said with smile, "Brother, you can just pretend to be someone else. How about I use my divine ability to turn you into a girl and you can go defeat Jian Nanhu as a girl." "Wretched girl, don't always think of turning me into a woman." Qinyan pinched Xiao Yuanmei's face and scolded with smile. "Brother, don't you think this is very fun? At that time, even Big Sister Yang won't know who you are. Don't worry, I will turn you into a big ant. This way, you won't be stared at by a group of stinky men." Xiao Yuanmei laughed even more happily. Qinyan doesn't know whether to laugh or cry. He can only rub her little face as if he is teaching her a lesson. Xiao Yuanmei has also entered the Xian martial realm. With her talent, it would be strange if she did not break through in a few years. The Divine Inscription Palace is very lively. Qinyan followed Xiao Yuanmei in and met an acquaintance. It is indeed the fatty Mufeng. Mufeng also saw Xiao Yuanmei. Although he is fat, his mind is meticulous. When he saw Xiao Yuanmei bring a man in, he became suspicious. He hurriedly followed after her. Mufeng also knows that Xiao Yuanmei has a Xian Inscription Master Badge. Previously, he even cooperated with Xiao Yuanmei to put on a show to deceive people. "Fatty Mu, what are you sneaking around for?" Qinyan knows that Mufeng is following him and said with a low laugh, "Stinky brat, it's really you." Mufeng is also extremely happy. Xiao Yuanmei arrived at her suite and opened the door to let Qinyan and Mufeng enter first. She looked outside to make sure that no one is following her, then went in and closed the door. Fatty Moo, why did you follow me? Xiao Yuanmei asked. Qin Yun is my friend. He escaped from death. Of course I want to meet him. Mu Feng said, back then I thought he was dead. I even shed a few tears. Xiao Yuanmei curled her lips and said, go away. Who would believe your nonsense? Mu Feng looked at Qin Yun and said with smile, Qin Yun, your harvest in the Nether Moon Desolate Domain must be not small, right? The remote Moon Mountain Range has become a great treasure house. The Nether Moon Desolate Domain, I don't dare to believe it. Qin Yun said with a bitter smile, Fatty Moo, if my harvest was great, I would have already entered the Xian martial realm. Mu Feng said with a look of disdain, Qin Yun, although you are not at the Xian martial realm, a sneeze from you can make a Xian martial realm guy tremble. Don't be modest. Who doesn't know your strength? Xiao Yuanmei nodded and said, brother, you must participate in the Sword Martial Assembly and teach that monkey Jian Nanhu a lesson. Qin Yun shook his head and smiled. Yuanmei, tell me honestly, do you have enmity with Jian Nanhu? I'll help you mediate. There's no need to fight. Mu Feng chuckled and said, last time this little girl pretended to be a Jian family member to swindle people and was exposed by Jian Nanhu on the spot. Luckily, I went to cooperate with her in time. Otherwise, I would have definitely been exposed. Xiao Yuanmei glared at Mu Feng. Mu Feng said, Qin Yun, this Sword Martial Assembly not only has martial arts competition, it also has inscription competition. The martial arts competition is also divided into several levels. There are Martial Monarch, Martial King, and Martial Emperor competitions. Of course, you can also register to participate in the Martial Monarch level competition. The first competition is the inscription competition. This time, the Jin family has taken out a good thing as the reward for last night. Xiao Yuanmei promptly asked, what is it? Right now, there are all kinds of wild guesses outside. Mu Feng said, I have some reliable information. It is said to be high-grade sun rune. High-grade sun rune. The corner of Qin Yun's eyes twitched. This is the rune he has always wanted to obtain. Although Mo can see through dark runes and restore most of them, she is unable to duplicate sun runes. The sword Qin Yun obtained from Jian Nanhu also has sun runes. The Sun and Moon Immortal Bed also has sun runes, but Mo is unable to obtain them. This is because Mo's strength is not strong enough. If it is only a group of high-grade sun runes, it would be useless. Qin Yun shook his head and said, not just one group. It is said that there are several groups. Mu Feng said again. In short, I have already registered to participate. Of course, I also have no hope of winning. A large number of Dao inscription masters from the Jian family are also participating. Xiao Yuanmei said in a very bad mood. Even if someone wins, the sun runes will only be in the hands of the Jian family. I want to register to participate in the inscription competition. Qin Yun suddenly said, brother, it is better to go to the martial arts competition. What's so good about the inscription competition? You can't even win against those Dao inscription masters. Xiao Yuanmei promptly shook Qin Yun's shoulder. I will also go to the martial arts competition, all right? Qin Yun chuckled and said, Qin Yun, if you go to the martial arts competition, it would be best if you don't win first place. Mu Feng said with grave expression. Why? Qin Yun and Xiao Yuanmei asked together. Chapter 761. Dao or Dragon. Soul. Qin Yun thought about it, and felt that Mu Feng's worries were not without reason. Although he helped the Sword Immortal Pavilion, it was only the proud Star State's Jian family that was grateful to him. On the other hand, the Jian family of the other prefectures might not be the same. Mu Feng said again, Qin Yun, if you get first place, it will cause internal strife in the Jian family. Of course, this is just a wild guess of mine. Xiao Yuanmei said, brother, you don't need to get first place. Just defeat Jian Nanhu. Let's talk about it when the time comes. Qin Yun said with smile, I might not even be able to get 10th place. Xiao Yuanmei doesn't think so. She believes that Qin Yun is very strong. Mu Feng said with a smile, you can sign up for the inscription competition in the inscription palace. Go and sign up. Xiao Yuanmei understands this the most. She promptly brought Qin Yun downstairs to register. Qin Yun used a fake name, and it was given by Xiao Yuanmei. He is called Xiao Yun. Fatimu finally left. Brother, we can begin. Xiao Yuanmei took out a small mirror and giggled. She also knew that Qin Yun had been thinking about this matter. Xiao Yuanmei and Qin Yun entered a very quiet and stable secret room. Qin Yun said with smile, Yuanmei, I have a new inscription spirit. Xiao Yuanmei placed the mirror on Qin Yun's abdomen and said with a charming smile, Big Sister Yang gave you the Star Lord inscription spirit, right? Qin Yun chuckled and did not say a word. Xiao Yuanmei is currently duplicating the Star Lord inscription spirit and discovered that there is another inscription spirit. She seems to know what kind of inscription spirit it is, causing her to widen her eyes in shock as she looked at Qin Yun with her mouth agape. Yuanmei, even though my cultivation did not increase, I gained a lot. Qin Yun pinched Xiao Yuanmei's astonished little face. Brother, you are too awesome, huh? Xiao Yuanmei charmingly laughed. Sure. Qin Yun quickly made a gesture. Xiao Yuanmei said in low voice, Brother, how did you get Moon Lady inscription spirit? I heard that in the 9 Desolate, there are no more than 3 Moon Lady inscription spirits. Yuanmei, could it be that you didn't know that my past life had Moon Lady inscription spirit? Qin Yun asked with a frown. Your past life is your past life. What does it have to do with your current life? Xiao Yuanmei said, It was passed down to me from my past life. Qin Yun laughed, and then simply explained the matter of the battle race tribe. I knew that Yu had wronged you. Yu is really stupid. She could not obtain the Nether Moon even after 10,000 years. Wait until I go to Immortal Desolate. I will definitely make her laugh to death. Xiao Yuanmei exclaimed in admiration again and again after knowing that Qin Yun obtained the Nether Moon. Yuanmei, that Nether Moon should be very important for rebuilding the Guanghan Palace, right? I want to return it to Sister Yang. Qin Yun said, You don't have to return it to her. Since you can obtain it, it means that you and Nether Moon are fated. Big Sister Yang also won't want it. Xiao Yuanmei smiled ambiguously and said, Big Sister Yang dotes on you very much. Don't think too much. Qin Yun pinched Xiao Yuanmei's face and said, Let's begin. Xiao Yuanmei also became serious. She held her mirror and asked, Brother, what kind of spirit are you planning to refine? Tao Lord Inscription Spirit. You copied it from Elder Ling Long, right? Qin Yun said. Xiao Yuanmei nodded and asked in low voice, Brother, if you obtain the Tao Lord Inscription Spirit, won't you become a Tao Inscription Master? Qin Yun thought for a moment, then shook his head and said, I am also not sure. Let's take it out first. Xiao Yuanmei closed her eyes and said, I will let the Tao Lord Inscription Spirit appear in the mirror now. Not long after, Qin Yun saw the Tao Lord Inscription Spirit. It is formed from probability runes. Yuanmei, do you remember the situation when we helped Honglan condense the red orchid martial spirit? Qin Yun asked. Of course I remember. However, the situation now is different from last time. That time we condensed a martial spirit, and this time we condensed an inscription spirit. It is different. Xiao Yuanmei said. Indeed, I wonder if we can succeed or not. Qin Yun spoke and took out many soul sealing pearls. There are a large number of martial spirits sealed inside them. These martial spirits contain soul power. They're necessary for soul refining. Xiao Yuanmei said. Inscription spirit consumes a lot of soul power. She also took out many soul sealing pearls. They're all accumulated over the past few years. Qin Yun and Xiao Yuanmei took out 2 large piles of soul sealing pearls. I still have some pretty good martial spirits on hand. They're all purple gold rank. I hope we won't have to use them. Qin Yun said. Xiao Yuanmei said with smile, It doesn't matter if we use them. I already have a foundation here. Brother, I can now simultaneously use the power of 5 kinds of martial spirits. Qin Yun very happily said with smile, Yuanmei, you are becoming more and more awesome. I will begin. Xiao Yuanmei spoke, then concentrated her energy to force out the Tao Lord Inscription Spirit's soul power from the mirror martial spirit. Qin Yun promptly took out a special soul-sealing pearl and channeled the Tao, Lord Inscription Spirit's soul power, into the pearl. Xiao Yuanmei said with smile, "Only my mirror can release soul power that can duplicate a soul body." Qin Yun nodded and said, "Indeed, even if I have Nether Sun Martial Spirit, I cannot release this kind of special regeneration soul power. The Tao Lord Inscription Spirit is white in color. The overflowing soul power is very weak. It is very difficult to see with naked eyes. It can only be sensed through mental power." Qin Yun used soul refining technique and his own mental power to release the martial spirit power inside the soul-sealing pearl, transforming it into nourishment for the Tao Lord Inscription Spirit to absorb. Xiao Yuanmei is Xian martial realm. Moreover, she cultivates mental power, so she can continue this kind of tiring work without stopping. "Brother, it is like we are cultivating a seedling. We have not even produced a seed." Xiao Yuanmei looked at the empty soul-sealing pearl and said with a light smile, "Indeed, the Tao Lord Inscription Spirit is truly different from the masses. Qin Yun has already consumed more than 100 martial spirits, but he has not been able to condense a single soul seed. So long as he can condense a soul seed, it means he has already succeeded halfway. Now it is only a matter of time." Xiao Yuanmei continued to let the mirror release the Tao Lord Inscription Spirit's soul power. It is also very strenuous. At first she was still laughing and joking with Qin Yun, but after half a day, her small eyebrows are creased, her small face is taut, she is very solemn. Qin Yun is also not relaxed. Not only he needs to refine all kinds of martial spirits, he also needs to release a great amount of mental power to gather the martial spirit power together for the Tao Lord Inscription Spirit to absorb. 2 days later, the large pile of soul-sealing pearls that Qin Yun and Xiao Yuanmei took out have no color. It means that all the martial spirits have been used up. So many martial spirits, yet I cannot cultivate a soul seed. Qin Yun gritted his teeth. He can only painfully take out the best quality martial spirits he has collected. If I wanted to cultivate legendary martial spirits or heavenly bestowed martial spirits, I would have already done so. Inscription spirits are truly difficult to cultivate. Xiao Yuanmei said. Qin Yun let out a long sigh. He painfully refined all those good martial spirits. "Brother, why did you choose to condense Tao Lord Inscription Spirit and not Totem Inscription Spirit?" Xiao Yuanmei asked. "I thought I had enough resources to do it twice." Qin Yun sighed and said, "I miscalculated. I think Totem Inscription Spirit is even more difficult. I personally feel that Totem Inscription Spirit is stronger than Spirit Body." Xiao Yuanmei said with smile, "If you choose to condense Totem Inscription Spirit, I am afraid you will need to consume even more." Qin Yun thought about it and felt that it is not strange. Because inscription spirits are very rare, they are certainly more difficult to cultivate than martial spirits. My preparation is still not sufficient. Qin Yun very quickly used up all those good martial spirits. Now, he and Xiao Yuanmei don't have any more martial spirits. Oh. Xiao Yuanmei looked at Qin Yun with bitter smile and said anxiously, "Brother, if we stop like this, all our previous efforts will be wasted. We have so many martial spirits. We have painstakingly accumulated them all these years. All right, I can only let my martial spirits suffer a bit." Qin Yun let out a long sigh and then let Ling Yun control the Nether Sun martial spirit to release soul blood. Qin Yun's martial spirit is very strong and it can continuously recover. However, he cannot do this too often, otherwise his martial spirit will despise him. This is also Ling Yun's advice. Xiao Yuanmei also did not stay idle. She also began releasing her martial spirit's soul power from the small mirror. "Xiao Yun, didn't you capture a dragon? That dragon's dragon spirit should be very strong." Ling Yun said, "The martial spirits I obtained before, some of them came from martial emperors and half-immortals. They were all used to feed Tao Lord Inscription Spirit. They are not very strong." Qin Yun said, Beast spirit and human spirit are different. The power of those martial emperors and half-immortals are not in their martial spirits, but in their Tao cores and life crystals. But beasts are different. Their soul bodies also contain very strong power. Ling Yuner said. Qin Yun recalled that Heavenly Lion old ancestor left him a strand of Heavenly Lion beast spirit. It is very formidable. Qin Yun promptly sent voice transmission to Yao Fong inside the Nine Sun Divine Soul's third pearl. Sister Yao Fong, can you help me with a small matter? Quickly speak. Yao Fong shouted. I caught a dragon. I need its dragon spirit and dragon pearl. That dragon is very strong. I locked it inside the Heavenly Lion Dragon Suppressing Cauldron. I want to put it inside the third pearl and let you kill it. Qin Yun said. All right. Yao Fong also very straightforwardly agreed. Sister Yao Fong, I might have to feed that dragon meat to the ninth heaven Shin Sparrow. Qin Yun said again. I have Xiang to absorb. I don't need your trash. Don't worry. Yao Fong groaned. Qin Yun placed the Heavenly Lion Dragon Suppressing Cauldron inside the Nine Sun Divine Soul's third pearl and let Yao Fong take the dragon out herself. Not long after, Yao Fong said, It's done. It is just a small dragon. It is not enough to fill the gap between my teeth. The corner of Qin Yun's mouth twitched. That dragon is very awesome. Yet Yao Fong actually despised it. If that devil dragon knew about this, he would definitely die with grievance. Qin Yun took out the Heavenly Lion Dragon Suppressing Cauldron and took out the Dragon Spirit and Dragon Pearl. Brother, this is the Dragon Spirit and Dragon Pearl. They are very fresh. Could it be that the dragon that Long family lost was taken away by you? Xiao Yueme looked at the red dragon pearl in amazement. There's a dragon spirit inside. Long family lost a dragon. How do you know about this matter? Qin Yun said with frown. This is a very important matter. Many people know about it. Long family is now investigating who did it. They suspect Long Xiaofeng, but they feel that she doesn't have the strength. They only said that she joined hand with other people to do it, and Long Xiaofeng is also missing. Chapter 762. Heaven-Defying Tribulation. Yueme, don't go around talking about this matter. You will harm Xiaofeng. Qin Yun warned. Relax. I am not that kind of blabbermouth woman. Xiao Yueme said with smile. Brother, you are really awesome. As soon as you came out, you immediately went to Long family and captured that dragon. If this matter were to spread out, it would shake the entire spirit-desolate ordinary realm. Qin Yun's formidable strength caused Xiao Yueme to feel very proud. Qin Yun controlled the dragon spirit inside the dragon pearl and released formidable bee-spirit power to continue refining inscription spirit. It is truly a pity that I could not go with you, Xiao Yueme said with regretful expression. When I went with Xiaofeng, it was also very dangerous. Qin Yun said, actually, capturing that dragon was very easy for him. You already planned it long ago and bribed Long Xiaofeng. It seems like you have always been thinking about that dragon. Xiao Yueme giggled and said, Brother, next time I will help you find out where there is a dragon. Then we will do something big. All right. Qin Yun nodded with smile. With the help of the dragon spirit, Qin Yun is now a lot more relaxed. His and Xiao Yueme's martial spirits don't need to bleed anymore. They can rest now. Xiao Yueme also calmed down and began recovering her martial spirits. Qin Yun also sent sound transmission to Yao Fong. Sister Yao Fong, I am with Yueme. Yueme? Is she with you? Yao Fong seems to be very concerned after hearing Qin Yun's words and promptly asked, And, you really don't want to see her? Qin Yun asked, I don't want to see her in my current state. You must be good to her. Don't bully her and don't swindle her. Yao Fong said, This little girl is very clever. She often swindles people. She even brought me to swindle people some time ago. Qin Yun also took this opportunity to tell Yao Fong about Xiao Yueme's matters. Yao Fong has been alone in the Nine Sun Divine Soul's third pearl for tens of thousands of years. She has been very lonely. Now that she knows about Xiao Yueme, she is very happy. What are you doing outside? Yao Fong asked. We are refining spirit. Qin Yun told Yao Fong about him refining inscription spirit, causing her to exclaim in admiration. She did not expect that inscription spirit could be refined like this. If Qin Yun succeeds, it means that he will have a large number of inscription spirits. It must be known that even in the immortal desolate, many inscription spirits can cause immortals to fight over them. Yao Fong continued cultivating and instructed Qin Yun to inform her if he succeeds. There were only a few days left until the inscription competition. Qin Yun and Xiao Yuanmei have been in the secret room for 7 days. Finally, the power of the dragon soul was completely absorbed. At the same time, dark clouds gathered in the sky. It was originally noon, but in a short period of time, the sky was covered by dark clouds. An area of 5,000 kilometers around Sword Island instantly became incomparably pitch black, and it was completely dark. Rumble. A bolt of lightning suddenly struck down, striking the barrier of Sword Island. In an instant, the gigantic New Sword Island fell into a state of panic. The New Sword Island was trembling nonstop. Sword Island was struck by a terrifying lightning bolt. In the Sword Immortal Villa in the middle of the Sword Island, many martial emperors and half-immortals soared into the sky. Their expressions were grave as they looked at the unceasing lightning bolts striking down from the sky. It landed in the divine inscription pagoda. Could it be that someone is crossing tribulation there? Jin Shirtian said with frown. This is not ordinary tribulation thunder, a long-bearded old man said with grave expression. This is heaven-defying tribulation. Who is it that triggered heaven-defying tribulation here? Half-immortals have 7 tribulations. The last one is heaven-defying tribulation. After crossing heaven-defying tribulation, one can become an immortal. Jin Shirtian's expression is filled with envy. At this time, a large group of people from the Sword Immortal Villa promptly flew towards the Divine Inscription Pagoda. Qin Yun is inside the Divine Inscription Pagoda. He is refining Dao Xin Inscription Spirit with Xiao Yuanmei and is about to succeed. Brother, it seems like something terrible has happened. Xiao Yuanmei has already taken back her mirror. At this time, she loudly shouted, Cracks appeared on my mirror. Is it all right? Qin Yun anxiously asked. It's all right. It is slowly healing. Xiao Yuanmei giggled and said. Ling Yuner said, Xiao Yun, you are refining Dao Lord Inscription Spirit. It must be defying heavenly Dao. It triggered heaven-defying tribulation. Yuanmei's mirror also cracked because of it. There is such a thing? Then what should we do next? Qin Yun looked at the trembling white soul-sealing pearl. That soul-sealing pearl is madly flickering with white light. It is very irritable. Give it to Sister Yao Fong, Ling Yuner said. Qin Yun promptly contacted Yao Fong. Sister Yao Fong, I have encountered some trouble. I have successfully refined Dao, Lord Inscription Spirit, and triggered heaven-defying tribulation. Can I temporarily leave that thing with you? Quickly. Yao Fong became very anxious after hearing this. Qin Yun promptly placed the Dao Lord Inscription Spirit into the 3rd pearl of the 9-Sun Divine Soul. The activity outside is still very big. Qin Yun and Xiao Yuanmei promptly entered the Divine Inscription Pagoda. The outside is actually pitch black. It is being enveloped by a very dreadful pressure. The people on a New Sword Island all have the feeling that they can be killed at any time. Boom, boom, boom. Countless lightnings suddenly dropped down from the churning ink clouds in the sky and hacked down on the defensive barrier of the Sword Island. Qin Yun also secretly admires the defense of the Sword Island. It can actually withstand the attack. After the last round of ferocious attack, the ink clouds in the sky gradually dispersed. Soon after, a very strong aura rushed over. It is Jin Shirtian and his group of Jin family half-immortals. They rushed over energetically. It is also very scary. The New Sword Island has once again returned to tranquility. After Jin Shirtan arrived, he said in clear voice, I wonder which expert is crossing tribulation again. Just as he finished speaking, he felt that something is wrong. The old man beside him stroked his long beard and said with frown, Strange, I am certain that it is heaven-defying tribulation, but it is impossible for it to disappear like this. Could it be that the person crossing tribulation turned into ashes? Soon after, Jian Shitian and his group entered the Divine Inscription Pagoda to search, but they did not find anything. Qin Yun and Xiao Yuanmei are the same as everyone else. They are watching the excitement outside the Divine Inscription Pagoda. At this time, Qin Yun saw familiar people appear. They are Jian Nanhu and Jian Ruyan. Apart from them, there is also a group of Jian family disciples. Jian Nanhu saw Jian Shitian coming out of the Divine Inscription Palace and asked, "Grandfather, could it be those bastard donkeys of the Long family did it? Didn't they lose a dragon? Yet they are blaming it on our heads." An old man said, "Long family doesn't have this kind of strength. It is impossible for it to be them. Let's go back and talk about it." Jian Shitian shouted to the people outside. "Everyone saw it just now. Our Sword Island's defense is very strong. Now you can all feel relieved. We can go back." Everyone very quickly dispersed. Mu Feng looked at the disguised Qin Yun with a smile. He suspects that this is Qin Yun's doing. He is very clear that wherever Qin Yun goes, there will be no peace. Qin Yun and Xiao Yuanmei returned to the luxurious suite. Xiao Yuanmei happily jumped up and down. "Brother, we succeeded. We succeeded." "Ha ha ha." Qin Yun somewhat anxiously asked, "Yuanmei, is your mirror all right?" Xiao Yuanmei promptly took out her mirror and handed it over to Qin Yun. "It's all right. Take a look and you will know. It's really all right." Qin Yun carefully looked at it and let out a sigh of relief. "That is heaven-defying tribulation. I think we shouldn't do this kind of thing in the future." Xiao Yuanmei curled her lips and said, "Brother, you really have no guts. Just a heaven-defying tribulation, and you are scared to this extent? The path of becoming stronger is heaven-defying. Sooner or later, you will have to face all kinds of tribulations." She is not afraid at all. She sat on the table and ate fruits. "I am worried that your mirror won't be able to take it." Qin Yun said, "It's all right. I am not afraid. What are you afraid of?" Xiao Yuanmei charmingly smiled and threw a fruit to Qin Yun. Qin Yun also very happily ate the fruit. Xiao Yuanmei said with smile, "Brother, now that you have fused with Tao Lord Inscription Spirit, can you carve Tao runes? Quickly give it a try." Tao Lord Inscription Spirit has also been successfully refined and stabilized by Yao Fong. After Qin Yun took out the soul-sealing pearl, he anxiously looked all around. Heaven-defying tribulation shouldn't appear again, right? Don't worry about it. Quickly fuse. Xiao Yuanmei walked over and urged. With Ling Yun'er's help, Qin Yun very easily fused with Tao Lord Inscription Spirit. The moment he fused, a wonderful feeling rushed over from all directions. He promptly took out a talisman paper and mental resonance Xian pen and began carving Tao runes on it. He doesn't have many Tao runes, but they are all high-quality Tao runes. Qin Yun is frowning as he continued carving Tao runes. The mental power consumption is enormous. Qin Yun immediately started sweating profusely. He can feel that his mental moon is constantly losing mental power. 1 hour later, Qin Yun's face turned deathly pale. However, he has successfully crafted a Tao talisman. "I feel like I am dying." Qin Yun let out a long sigh, stored away the mental resonance Xian pen, then lied down on the table, closed his eyes, and fell asleep. Xiao Yuanmei promptly carried Qin Yun to the bed and let him rest. "Not even a Xian martial realm, yet you can craft out talismans. Awesome, brother." Xiao Yuanmei looked at Qin Yun and rubbed Qin Yun's handsome face with a grinning smile. At this time, someone knocked on the door. Xiao Yuanmei promptly opened the door and saw 2 women whose faces are covered with gauze. After they saw Xiao Yuanmei, they took off their veils. One of them is wearing purple skirt. She is very beautiful and noble. She has a beautiful oval-shaped jade face and a faint smile on her face. This is Zi Qingsheng. The blue-dressed woman is Shui Tianzi. Her body is fiery hot. Her watery, beautiful eyes flickered with charm, and her jade-like face is flowing with an intoxicating and charming bright red. She caressed Xiao Yuanmei's face and said with light smile, "Little girl, Why are you looking for us? Why are you in such a hurry? Xiao Yuanmei giggled and said, Big sister Shui, my brother is back. He is very tired and needs someone to serve him. Aren't you looking forward to serving him all day long? Shui Tianzi and Zi Qingqing looked at each other in astonishment and then promptly entered the house. After Xiao Yuanmei closed the door, she promptly brought them to Qin Yun's room. It's really little brother Yun. After Shui Tianzi saw Qin Yun, she immediately walked over with a charming chuckle. Her jade-like hands naughtily reached into Qin Yun's clothes and groped around. Evil water spirit, aren't you ashamed? Zi Qingsheng could not bear to watch any longer and promptly pulled her away. I'm just touching to see if it's really little brother Yun or not. I can feel it with just a touch. Shui Tianzi lightly pouted and rolled her eyes at Zi Qingsheng, then said with charming smile, If you don't believe me, you can also touch it. Shui Tianzi became even bolder this time. She directly extended her hand towards Qin Yun's abdominal muscles and continued downwards. Chapter 763. Young Xiao Yun Qin Yun was originally very tired, but he did not want to be taken advantage of by Shui Tianzi, so he hurriedly woke up. After Shui Tianzi's lily-white hand was grabbed by Qin Yun, her delicate body suddenly softened. She directly laid on Qin Yun's body and giggled. Sister Shui, I'm very tired right now. I need to rest. Qin Yun never expected that after not seeing Shui Tianzi for a few years, she would become more and more unrestrained. This innately charming demoness seemed to want to pester Qin Yun. She hugged Qin Yun and refused to let go. Little brother Yun, let me accompany you to rest. Shui Tianzi's delicate and charming body is very soft, warm, and fragrant. Being hugged by her, Qin Yun also has a very soft feeling. Zi Qingsheng laughed. Water demon, Yulan's little sister is watching from here. Yulan is Qin Yun's wife. Shui Tianzi softly said, I didn't do anything to little brother Yun. I haven't seen him for a few years, and I miss him very much. I'm just accompanying him now. Qin Yun secretly pinched Shui Tianzi's thigh and saw her smile become even more charming. Shui Tianzi can also see that Qin Yun is very tired. She kissed Qin Yun's handsome face and said with gentle smile, All right, you should rest well. At that moment, Qin Yun finally heaved a sigh of relief. This reminded him of Bingxing came in the dark, while Shui Tianzi came in the open. Ling Yun smiled and said, Xiao Yun, this kind of demoness should be executed on the spot. Shui Tianzi, Zi Qingsheng, and Xiao Yuanmei are sitting in the hall outside, waiting for Qin Yun to rest. Back then, when they were in chaotic Moon City, they had also waited for Qin Yun and Xiao Xianqin to return. However, only Xiao Xianqin returned in the end. When they learned that Qin Yun is trapped in the dangerous Nether Moon Desolate Domain, they were extremely worried. Shui Tianzi burst into tears. Yuanmei, when did little brother Yun come to find you? Shui Tianzi asked. Several days. Xiao Yuanmei giggled and said, Could it be that this fellow despises me and Qingsheng for being too old? That's why he didn't come to look for us? Shui Tianzi snorted lightly. Yuanmei, who else knows about Qin Yun's return? Did you tell Xianqin and Shiyue? They are all on Sword Island. Zi Qingsheng asked. No, I'm not going to tell them yet. You said before that you would follow my brother for the rest of your lives and be his helpers. That's why I asked you to come here. Xiao Yuanmei pinched Zi Qingsheng's face and said with charming smile, Sister Steam Bun, your face is really easy to pinch. It's hard to say that my brother likes to pinch you so much. Zi Qingsheng pried open Xiao Yuanmei's mischievous lily-white hands and said lightly, Little girl, stop messing around. Shui Tianzi suddenly looked worried and said, Yuanmei, Xiao Yun's situation should be very dangerous, right? Is that why you didn't tell Shiyue and Xianqin? Xiao Yuanmei shook her head and said, My brother is very awesome. What kind of danger can there be? I didn't tell them because I was worried that they would come. Sister Yang's situation is the most dangerous. It's safer for her to stay with the elders. Zi Qingcheng looked at Qin Yun's room and asked again, Yuanmei, is Xiao Yun going to participate in the Sword Martial Assembly? To compete in martial arts? Xiao Yuanmei nodded and said, he has already signed up for the inscription competition. Then he will sign up for the martial arts competition. Don't worry, although my brother is not at the Xian martial realm, defeating that monkey Jianan Hu is not a problem. Shui Tianzi is somewhat worried. She said with frown, what kind of dreadful thing did my Xiao Yun experience in the Nethermoon Desolate Domain? He actually failed to enter the Xian martial realm. My Xiao Yun is really pitiful. Big sister must properly love him. Xiao Yuanmei also told them that the reason why Qin Yun was delayed in the Nethermoon Desolate Domain was because of the space-time channel. Qin Yun rested for a few hours and finally recovered. As soon as he came out, Shui Tianzi promptly walked over and hugged Qin Yun's arm. Qin Yun seems to be used to this kind of clingy and charming seductress. After he walked to the table and sat down, Shui Tianzi and Zi Qingcheng promptly took out a few storage bags. What are these? Qin Yun asked. Star Beast Crystal Nucleus. It's for you, Zi Qingcheng said. Qin Yun took them and looked at them. He is secretly amazed. There are a large number of Star Beast Crystal Nucleus inside the 6 storage bags. Shui Tianzi laughed tenderly and said, Xiao Yun, we have been waiting for you all these years. We also had nothing to do, so we went to the remote Moon Mountain Range to hunt star beasts. We specially got these for you. Thank you so much. Qin Yun is very touched in his heart. Xin also has quite a few. Zi Qingcheng chuckled and said, Of course, these aren't for nothing. You have to refine tools for us. Qin Yun smiled and reached out his hand. He lovingly rubbed Zi Qingcheng's beautiful face and said with a smile, Sister Steamed Bun, even if you don't give me these things, I will still refine tools for you. After being rubbed for a while, Zi Qingcheng struggled free from Qin Yun's devil claws. Shui Tianzi is somewhat jealous and pouted coquettishly. Xiao Yun, I can let you rub my entire body. It's definitely better than Sister Steamed Bun's face. You two said that you want to follow me and be my helpers, right? Qin Yun said with a smile. And in, Shui Tianzi and Zi Qingcheng promptly nodded. Didn't you guys join Demon Moon Island? It's not good to follow me now, right? Qin Yun said. It's fine. Anyway, Demon Moon Island is not too strict with us. Besides, Shuri Wei is the boss of Demon Moon Island. She also agreed to be our helpers. Shui Tianzi arrived behind Qin Yun with a charming smile and began massaging his back. Xiao Yuanmei said, All right, I want to change my brother's appearance now. I want him to participate in the inscription competition. What do you say? Turn him into a girl. All right. Shui Tianzi promptly said with charming smile. All right, your head. Qin Yun rolled his eyes at Shui Tianzi, then rubbed her thigh, causing her to let out a soft cry. Xiao Yuanmei's divine ability power is indeed very formidable. She turned Qin Yun into a youth. Although his appearance has changed a bit, he is still very handsome. Qin Yun looked at himself in the mirror and felt very satisfied. Soon after, he strolled around the divine inscription palace. He even swayed back and forth in front of Mu Fengxiao, but he was not recognized. In order to ensure that he was not recognized, Qin Yun followed Xiao Yuanmei and secretly went to a hotel. Many Jian family disciples frequently come and go inside. Qin Yun saw Jian Ruyan inside, but he was not recognized by Jian Ruyan and Jian Nanhu. Just like this, Qin Yun and Xiao Yuanmei played around in the city for a few days. Finally, the inscription competition began. Not everyone can participate in the inscription competition. This is to select the strongest inscription masters to participate in the competition. Jian family asked for 1 billion purple crystal coins. If they enter the top 20, they will refund the registration fee. As long as they are strong inscription masters, 1 billion purple crystal coins is nothing to them. Of course, it is also nothing to Qin Yun. Inscription masters who came to participate in the competition will come even if they have to pay 1 billion purple crystal coins, because they all came for the sun runes. The list of inscription masters who came to participate will be announced. There are several hundred of them, Xin inscription masters and Dao inscription masters. Reportedly, there are more than 100 Dao inscription masters who came from the various states of the spirit desolate ordinary realm. Some people speculate that the number of Dao inscription masters who came to participate is 80% of the spirit desolate ordinary realm. There are also many Dao inscription masters who came to participate anonymously. It is clear that they don't want people to know that they obtained sun runes. The competition stage is inside a huge cubic building inside the Seven-Sword Great Formation. The competition stage in the middle is very spacious. There are several hundred inscription masters standing inside. These several hundred inscription masters are the people with the highest status inside the spirit desolate ordinary realm. What makes people laugh is that many inscription masters are wearing masks. Naturally, the most eye-catching one is Jian Linglong. Jian Linglong is participating in the inscription competition. Not only she is representing Jian family, she is also representing Immortal Weapon City. I don't know what is going on with Jian Linglong. She actually ran to Immortal Weapon City. Indeed, Sword Immortal Pavilion is actually willing. Rumor has it that she was abducted by Qin Yun. That guy Qin Yun has mastered many kinds of totems, so he took Jian Linglong away. That's not it. I heard that Sword Immortal Pavilion's Dao inscription masters are very stingy. They are not willing to give good Dao runes to Jian Linglong. So she left in a fit of anger. That's impossible, right? Doesn't Jian Linglong have Dao Lord inscription spirit? How can Sword Immortal Pavilion not give it to her? You don't understand. If those old guys gave good Dao runes to Jian Linglong, they would definitely lose to a girl. Everyone is discussing about Jian Linglong's matter. The spectator seats are like terraced fields, layer after layer. They're filled with people. All of them are famous people from various states. One area is specially for the big shots and disciples of various major powers. Bao Changshuo and Jian Shitian are sitting together. Jian Shitian's expression is somewhat unsightly. Bao Changshuo said with smile, "Sword Sect Master, don't mind those rumors and slanders." Jian Shitian groaned, because those rumors and slanders are true. Several years have passed. Many people here still remember Qin Yun. Every time someone mentions Qin Yun, Bao Changshuo and Chu Binyu sighed in regret. On old Mother Yunyao's side, Xiao Xinqin, Yang Shuriwei, Zi Qingcheng, and Shui Tianzi are also sitting not far from Bao Changshuo and others. Villa Master Chu, are you not going to participate? Hu Jingxian asked with smile. Not going, it's a waste of purple crystal coins. Chu Binyu shook his head and smiled. Even if I go, I won't be able to enter top 20. Old Mother Yunyao said, Your Immortal Weapon City's Jian Linglong has mastered Dao Lord Inscription Spirit. If she competes in Dao Rune Carving Competition, she will most likely get first place. Jian Shitian said, This competition will not include Dao runes. Linglong's Dao Lord Inscription Spirit does not have any advantage. Bao Changshuo said with smile, Did you deliberately arrange this? Jian Shitian's expression is unhappy as he said, Don't talk nonsense. This is for the sake of overall fairness. To be honest, there are some geniuses whose level in Xian Rune is much higher than Dao Inscription Masters. Old Mother Yunyao said, Indeed, there are some geniuses who can use Xian Runes to refine Dao tools. Mu Fengxiao is also participating in the competition. He looked all around, looking for a person called Xiao Yun. After looking for a while, he saw a conspicuous short and small demon's chest. There are 2 words Xiao Yun pasted on it. Fatimu, don't expose me. Qin Yun promptly sent voice transmission to the astonished Mu Fengxiao. Chapter 764. Strength leaves a name. This competition didn't only have sun runes as rewards. There were also moon runes, star runes, Dao runes, and profound runes, all of which were high grade or king grade. Most people had come for the sun runes. Although they knew that it wouldn't be easy to obtain them, they felt that even if they couldn't obtain the sun runes, they would still be able to obtain other rewards. Mu Feng is also thinking this way. He sent sound transmission to Qin Yun. Little demon, There are at least 30 Dao inscription masters from Jian family here. There are close to 100 Xian inscription masters. When Qinyan heard this, he jumped in fright. However, when he thought about how they were the entire Jian clan of the spirit desolate ordinary realm, he felt that it was nothing much. Jian Linglong is also from the Jian family, but she is from the immortal weapon city. Fatty Moo, what kind of information did you gather? Qinyan is also looking all around. Among the inscription masters here, he only knows Mu Feng and Jian Linglong. There are 3 young Xian inscriptionists here. You should have seen them as well. They are all around 100 years old. Mu Feng said with a smile. Around 100 years old? Qinyan is very disdainful of this. He and Lu Jingming are both very young, but they have long been Xian inscriptionists. Brat, this is not bad. Do you think everyone is as monstrous as you? Mu Feng said with a smile. At that moment, many people saw the young Qinyan. Qinyan suddenly discovered that Xiao Yuanmei turning him into a youth is not a wise decision, because it will easily attract attention. It seems like Xiao Yuanmei did it on purpose. Qinyan was standing beside Mu Feng. He felt uncomfortable being stared at by others. To participate in the sword martial inscription competition, one only needs purple crystal coins. Qinyan paid 1 billion purple crystal coins. Therefore, even if he does not understand runes, the Sword Immortal Pavilion would not say anything. In any case, they obtained a sum of purple crystal coins for free, so why not? Which family is so extravagant to actually waste 1 billion purple crystal coins to let this youth in? Maybe this kid is a prodigal and wants to show off so he can brag when he gets back. Using 1 billion purple crystal coins to show off here. If I go back and brag, wouldn't I be laughed at? Who knows? Anyway, we can't guess what's in the mind of such a rich person. Some of the spectators outside the arena felt that it was normal, while others felt that it was too wasteful. And the inscription masters in the arena also feel that this little demon is very eye-catching, especially in the eyes of those old guys who had lived for thousands of years. He was just a baby. A white-robed elder with a beard that nearly touched the ground walked towards Qinyan and asked with a chuckle, "Kid, where are your parents? Did you spend so many purple crystal coins to find a famous teacher?" Many people came to a sudden realization when they heard the old man's words. Everyone knows that it is extremely difficult to find a master to learn the Tao of inscription. Those outstanding inscription masters, when they accept disciples, they all look at fate. If he could find a good inscription master by spending 1 billion purple crystal coins, it would be worth it. My family's elders are all dead, Qinyan said with smile. The long-bearded old man, was at a loss for words. It's normal for them to die when they're old. Sooner or later, everyone will die of old age. Qinyan's words dealt a heavy blow to those old inscription masters. The atmosphere in the arena suddenly became very heavy. Not only the inscription masters, even the elders watching the competition from the sidelines cursed in their hearts when they heard Qinyan's words. This little demon really has a big mouth. He doesn't even look at the situation when he speaks, someone cursed in low voice. The long-bearded old man laughed and said, "Kid, you are so young yet you are already indifferent to life and death. Is truly admirable." Qinyan said with a smile, "It's nothing. I have only lived for 10,000 years. When you have lived for that long, you will definitely be indifferent to life and death." This immediately caused an uproar among the audience. This youth has actually lived for more than 10,000 years. This is hard to believe. To be able to maintain the appearance of a youth at such an old age, not to mention eating immortal pills and immortal fruits, he must have cultivated a miraculous technique. The long-bearded old man's eyes became round because he found it hard to believe that the little demon in front of him is an old guy who is over 10,000 years old. Is this true? The long-bearded old man asked. "Of course not. I was just joking," Qinyan said with a laugh. His appearance made him look like he was asking for a beating. This caused many people to immediately curse, but a small number of people felt that it might be true. Because in this way, everyone felt very suspicious about this youth's age. Someone said, "Give him that age testing tool to test." Even though someone said this, they won't actually test his age, because the competition's rule is that only purple crystal coins are needed. Jian Shitian suddenly flew down from his seat and floated on the sky above the competition stage. At this moment, everyone on the stage became quiet. Jian Shitian said in loud voice, "The reason why our Jian family is holding this sword martial assembly is to invite everyone to tour our new sword island. At the same time, it is also to gift some good runes to the fated people. If you want to obtain the precious runes we gift, you must prove your strength." Therefore, the sword martial inscription competition will make everyone display their limit. It will also be very tiring and exhausting. Qin Yun looked at Jian Linglong. His face is filled with anger. Because Jian family is willing to give away precious Dao runes, but they're not willing to give them to a Jian family member, like her, who has Dao Lord inscription spirit. In today's first competition, we'll test the most basic strength of inscription masters. That is mental power. Jian Shitian said. Mental power is indeed very important to inscription masters. Qin Yun is not surprised at all. He is just very curious about how the test will be conducted. An inscription master asked, "Sword Sect Master, can this kind of test force us to display our mental power to the limit?" Jian Shitian said with smile. "If you want to hide your strength, you don't need to use your maximum power. However, it is very likely that you will be eliminated." In the eyes of the inscription masters here, this mental power test was a piece of cake. They don't think much of it. Qin Yun is actually very concerned about it. He also knows that Jian family will not give away so many runes in vain. This mental power test is certainly aimed at inscription masters who are not from Jian family. If the person who obtains the precious runes in the end is a Jian family disciple, then Jian family will not suffer any loss. Moreover, they will earn a large amount of purple crystal coins. Apart from this, Jian family will also gain fame. Qin Yun can see through this little trick with one look. In the mental power test, only 100 inscription masters will be able to pass. After Jian Shitian said this, everyone present burst in a loud cry of alarm. This is only a mental power test, yet it actually wants to eliminate several hundred inscription masters. Qin Yun already knew it would be like this. Jian Shitian waved his hand, and many Jian family people walked over. They took out many large transparent crystal balls. These crystal balls are half a person tall. They are placed on the ground and surrounded the large plaza. There are a total of 100 crystal balls surrounding the plaza. Jian Shitian said, "These crystal balls are specially refined. Release your strongest mental power and leave your name inside the crystal ball." There are a total of 100 crystal balls here. It means that you will need to constantly erase other people's mental power and then leave your name inside. Only when you release enough mental power can you erase the original name. Therefore, if you want to enter the next round, release your strongest mental power and leave your name inside the crystal ball. A middle-aged Xian inscription master yelled. "Dao inscription masters are definitely stronger than us." Many Xian inscription masters also started clamoring one after another. Dao inscription masters' mental power is very strong, but some Xian inscription masters have the same cultivation as Dao inscription masters, so there is no unfairness. Jian Shitian said with smile. Many Xian inscription masters and Dao inscription masters are martial kings and martial emperors. Xian martial realm Xian inscription masters only account for half of the people. The rules are set by the Sword Immortal Pavilion, and the Sword Immortal Pavilion has their reasons. Those Xian inscription masters with low cultivation can only accept it. Actually, those Xian inscription masters with low cultivation are already mentally prepared to participate in the competition. They only came here hoping to get lucky. The competition is starting. You can line up, and it will end at night. Jian Shitian shouted. Several hundred people quickly divided into 100 groups. There are Dao inscription masters and Xian inscription masters in the front. The name left on the crystal ball must be the same as when they signed up. At this moment, many inscription masters began to leave their names. Qin Yun is at the back of the line, secretly observing. He discovered that the name left behind by Dao inscription masters using mental power is the most stable. causing Xian inscription masters to find it hard to erase it. And after Xian inscription masters use mental power to leave their name inside the crystal ball, Dao inscription masters can erase it in an instant. This is the disparity. At this time, Qin Yun is no longer lining up. He is watching from the side. Mu Fengxiao is also the same. Because in the beginning, all the crystal balls will surely be occupied by the Dao inscription masters. If they rashly try, it will only be a waste of strength. Everyone can only stay for a short period of time to erase the mental power in the crystal ball. Therefore, they cannot use a long time to try all kinds of methods. They can only line up continuously. In this way, Dao inscription masters can very stably leave their names inside the crystal ball. Qin Yun also saw Jian Linglong's name. Her name also occupied a crystal ball, and the inscription masters behind her cannot erase her name within the stipulated time. Jian Linglong is standing beside the crystal ball and watching. This also gives people a lot of pressure. Very soon, everyone can see that among the 100 or so crystal balls, nearly half of them have Jian family's name. Jian family deliberately created this kind of test. Is it just to show off? Mu Fengxiao cursed in low voice. Very clearly this is the case. Inside those 100 or so crystal balls, there are golden and dazzling names flickering. Majority of them start with Jian character. With one look, people can tell that Jian family inscription masters have the strongest mental power. And Long family also has many inscription masters. They also occupy a lot of crystal balls. Time passed very quickly. Evening arrived in the blink of an eye. There are some people present who did not line up to try. For example, Qin Yun and Mu Fengxiao. Chapter 765. Many people joint cultivation. Seeing Qin Yun queuing up, everyone felt somewhat surprised, because they are sure that this little youth is here to join in the fun. In the afternoon, many Xian inscription masters are exhausted, but they are still trying to erase the names inside the crystal ball. Nobody wants to let go of their last hope. There are not many people in front of Qin Yun, only a few. All of them are Xian inscription masters. Each and every one of them is exhausted. Their faces are listless, but they cannot give up. This competition, it is indeed a test of mental power limit. Very soon it will be Qin Yun's turn. Qin Yun looked at the name Long Inxian written on the crystal ball. It is the name of a Dao inscription master. This Dao inscription master is standing beside the crystal ball with his arms crossed on his chest. He is looking at the little demon in front of him with disdain. Qin Yun looked at the hourglass. The time is almost up. He suddenly came to queue up. He can calculate the time well. As long as he controls the time well, just as he finished writing his name, the competition will be over. Qin Yun placed his hands on the crystal ball and released his mental power to permeate inside. The crystal ball suddenly trembled. This caused many people to cry out in alarm. This means that the mental power is very strong. Only by making the crystal ball tremble can the mental power inside be erased. Long Yinxian was looking at Qin Yun with disdain earlier, but now his eyes are wide open in disbelief. Those listless Xian inscription masters think that they are dreaming. They promptly rubbed their eyes and looked at the youth. Nobody expected that this youth who looks like a bystander actually has true ability. The long-bearded old man who chatted with Qin Yun before also looked over in amazement. Everyone suddenly recalled that this youth said that he has lived for 10,000 years. Although he said that he was joking, now many people believe him. Long Yinxian is one of the top 10 Dao inscription masters in Soaring Dragon State. This guy is very strong. Moreover, he is hiding his strength very well. This is the last critical juncture. If his name is erased, he will be eliminated. Ayaya. This youth wants to trick Long Yinxian to death. Qin Yun pressed the crystal ball and poured formidable mental power into it. He erased the name Long Yinxian bit by bit. Ho! The crystal ball suddenly trembled and released a burst of gale. This is because the mental power inside has been destroyed. The name Long Yinxian has occupied the crystal ball for more than half a day, and now it has finally been erased. What is shocking is that Long Yinxian is a famous Dao inscription master of Long family. And now, His name has been erased by a youth who came out of nowhere. Long Inxian's expression is that of a F***king dog. He stared blankly at Qin Yun, erasing his name. The hourglass is about to run out. Qin Yun also quickly used his mental power to condense a name that emitted a coquettish red light. Although the two words Xiao Yun were crooked, they could still be seen clearly. The two words looked like they were written by a child. Compared to the other crystal balls, they were too ugly. This kid's handwriting is too ugly. Even if he knew how to carve runes, it would definitely be the same as his words. Just like a chicken scratching it out, this little brat is also very thick-skinned. He wrote such ugly words in front of so many people, yet he can still laugh. Qin Yun also deliberately wrote it very ugly. If he wrote it well, it would consume a lot of mental energy. Time's up, Jin Shitian loudly shouted. Long Inxian only felt a cold breeze blowing past him. He was actually eliminated just like that. Following that, a wave of anger surged into his heart. Besides Long Inxian, another Dao inscription master from the Long family has also been eliminated. That was Mu Feng's doing. Qin Yun is very happy. He giggled and said, I entered the next round. Huh. Other Dao inscription masters are looking at Long Inxian with schadenfreude. Long Inxian wished he could tear apart Qin Yun's smiling face. He, a dignified Dao inscription master, was actually going to be eliminated along with a group of Xin inscription masters. This is a good thing for the other Dao inscription masters because they will have one less formidable opponent. They also secretly sighed at their good luck. Otherwise, it was highly likely that they would have been the ones eliminated. Naturally, these Dao inscription masters are also very amazed by this young man's mental power. It can actually erase the mental power of a Dao inscription master. Put the crystal ball on the competition stage. We will begin the second round tomorrow. Jin Shitian also feels that this is unexpected. He really did not expect that this young man who came here to be a bystander would actually kill his way out of the encirclement and advance to the second round. Qin Yun left while chuckling. He also discovered that many people are following him. Luckily, it is nighttime. He used shadow power to quickly throw off those people and entered Xiao Yuemei's car. Sister Steam Bun and Sister Shui are following old Mother Yun Yao. Xiao Yuemei charmingly laughed and said, Brother, you did beautifully. You tricked Long Inxian. There is still competition tomorrow. I wonder what the content will be. Qin Yun's expression is relaxed. Brother, I want to inquire, there are many strong guys in the martial monarch competition of the Sword Martial Assembly. I am worried that you won't be able to defeat them with your peak spirit martial realm cultivation. Xiao Yuemei said, I will know after trying. Qin Yun said with smile. How about this? I will cultivate with you tonight and help you refine those star beast crystal nucleus. Maybe you can break through in a few days? Xiao Yuemei said. Qin Yun thought about it, then shook his head and said, It won't be easy for me to break through. Xiao Yuemei curled her lips and said, Isn't it just condensing Xindao core? What's so difficult about it? Qin Yun has now cultivated a mortal devil body. There is no bottleneck in the aspect of physical body. It is only in the aspect of cultivating Dao core. All right, let's give it a try. Qin Yun nodded in agreement. After returning to Xiao Yuemei's room, they immediately entered the secret room. Qin Yun took out the crystal nucleus given to him by Zi Qingsheng and Shui Tianzi. These are the crystal nucleus they saved up for several years. There are very many. Brother, the two of them are so good to you. They risked a lot of danger to hunt them down. Moreover, it was very difficult. Xiao Yuemei looked at the crystal nucleus inside and faintly sighed, and also prepared many crystal nucleus for you. After you finish using them, I will go find her. You're very good to me. Qin Yun caressed Xiao Yuemei's face and said with smile. Xiao Yuemei placed many crystal nucleus all around her so that they can absorb them while cultivating. Qin Yun took out a very large bee skin and said, Yuemei, I will make a formation. It will help me absorb quickly, very quickly. He took out mental resonance, Xian pen, and carved special star and moon runes on it. These are star and moon runes used to help condense Xian power, and also some high-quality Xian runes used to condense Xian power. Because he has Star Lord and Moon Lady inscription spirits, he carved these runes very quickly. It only took him 4 hours to finish setting it up. I wonder what the result will be. Xiao Yuemei is secretly looking forward to it, she said with a smile. Let's begin, Qin Yun said. They sat cross-legged on a large bee skin formation. Their palms are tightly pressed together. Qin Yun operated his cultivation method. Xiao Yuemei operated Sun and Moon Heart Sutra. After the formation opened, the secret room immediately burst out with intense white light. Star Xian power inside a large amount of crystal nucleus was released by the formation and flooded the secret room. Ling Yuner promptly controlled the Nether Sun martial spirit to absorb the Dao core and then released it for Xiao Yuemei to absorb. Xiao Yuemei is already Xian martial realm. She also cultivated Xian Dao core. She used Sun and Moon Heart Sutra to absorb the Star Xian power from Qin Yun's body. After the Star Xian power flowed through her body, it became even stronger and then flowed back into Qin Yun's body. This way, the Star Xian power that flowed back into Xiao Yuemei's body has more than doubled. Qin Yun refined the Star Xian power that flowed back into his body into his Xian Spirit Dao Crystal. If the Xian Spirit Dao Crystal is big enough, it will gradually fuse with the Dao core and become Xian Dao core. You may take out the crystal nucleus and continue. The effect is very good, Qin Yun said with a smile. Xiao Yuemei did not immediately take them out. Instead, she said with a smile, Brother, I will go find Sister Steam Bun and Sister, also Aunt, we will cultivate together with you. This way the Star Xian power will increase even more. Is this method really feasible? Qin Yun thought about it and suddenly became excited. Of course it's feasible. You often did this in your past life. You hooked up with so many Guanghan Palace's younger sisters in your past life just to cultivate. Xiao Yuemei giggled and said, Call Sister Yang over. Qin Yun said with a smile. All right. Xiao Yuemei very quickly left. Qin Yun waited for more than half an hour, and Xiao Yuemei returned. She brought along 3 great beauties. Xiao Xianqin's cultivation is very proud of her quick breakthrough, so she has not aged at all. She is wearing a white dress. Her charm is peerlessly beautiful. After she saw Qin Yun, she only lightly smiled. Her expression is very calm, but she is actually very happy in her heart. Where is Sister Yang? Qin Yun asked. Granny Yin Yao is not letting her run around. I also did not tell her about your return. I am worried that she will come to find you. Xiao Xianqin said. Zi Qingshang said, I heard that the people keeping an eye on Granny Yin Yao are all half-immortals, so she cannot let Shuriwei leave her side. Shui Tianzi lightly sighed and said, Even on Sword Island, they have to be very careful. Xiao Yuemei giggled and said, Don't talk anymore. Let's begin. On the way here, she had also talked to Zi Qingsheng and the other 2 girls about cultivation. After they entered Demon Moon Island, they also mastered Sun and Moon Heart Sutra. The secret room is also very spacious. After they entered, they promptly took out many crystal nucleus and placed them all around. If everything goes smoothly, after consuming all these crystal nucleus, it will be enough for Qin Yun to condense Xian Dao core. Xiao Xianqin feels rather guilty toward Qin Yun because back then Qin Yun saved her and she let him stay in the Nether Moon Desolate Domain. They sat in a circle on top of the bee skin formation, placed their palms on each other, and began cultivating together. Very soon, Qin Yun sensed that the Star Xian power flowing back has increased by several times. He is very happy in his heart. What he doesn't know is that this kind of cultivation state is something many people yearn for. Obtaining the trust of a woman who cultivates Sun and Moon Heart Sutra is already very difficult, and Qin Yun obtained the trust of several women. Chapter 766. Mental Power Battle. Hearing Shui Tianzi's words, Qin Yun doubtfully looked at Xiao Xianqin. Xiao Xianqin said, Cultivating inside the immortal pool is indeed the best, but we don't have an immortal pool here, so don't think too much. Even if there is an immortal pool, we will be wearing clothes to cultivate with you. After the inscription competition is over, I might be able to create an immortal pool. Qin Yun has 2 immortal origins. He can definitely create an immortal pool. If there really is an immortal pool, it would be very uncomfortable wearing clothes. Shui Tianzi said with charming smile. If you don't want to wear it, you can also not wear it. Xiao Xinqin lightly groaned and said. After a night of cultivation, Qin Yun felt that his Xin spirit Dao crystal has become bigger. With this speed, it is completely possible to cultivate Xin Dao core in a short period of time. Qin Yun is somewhat excited just thinking about it. If he can cultivate Xin Dao core and become martial monarch, he will be able to defeat Jin Nanhu again in the Sword Martial Assembly. Xiao Xinqin also found out that Qin Yun wants to participate in the competition. That is why she is very anxious. She doesn't want to see Qin Yun suffer a loss in the competition, so she wants to do her best to help Qin Yun break through. Daybreak arrived. A new day has arrived. Early in the morning, the new Sword Island is very lively. Many people arrived at the center of the new Sword Island, the Seven Sword Center, and entered a huge cubic building inside the Sword Immortal Villa. The second round of the inscription competition is about to begin. Xiao Xinqin, Shui Tianzi, and Zi Qingsheng quietly left early in the morning and returned to old Mother Yunyao's side. And Qin Yun and Xiao Yuanmei directly went to the Sword Immortal Villa. Qin Yun arrived at the competition stage and saw Mu Feng. This fatty Mu Feng is only a Xian inscription master, yet he can enter this round of competition. He can be considered to be very capable. Among the 100 inscription masters, only Qin Yun and Mu Feng are not Dao inscription masters. The other 98 are all Dao inscription masters. The participants of the competition are all standing beside the crystal ball with their names. Among these 100 inscription masters, Qin Yun and the other inscription masters seem out of place, because he looks like a young boy, yet he is standing together with so many famous inscription masters. This is truly too unharmonious. Jin Shutian said. Next, begin grouping. Someone came in with a big box. There was a small hole at the bottom of the big box. As long as the box was padded, a bead would roll out with a number written on it. 2 people with the same number will form a group. Jin Shutian said. Everyone was puzzled by this. In the inscription competition, there had never been a situation where 2 people were in a group. If I'm unlucky, I'll have to team up with Fatty and the young man. That Fatty is a Xian inscription master. At least he has a badge. But that young man doesn't have anything. From the looks of it, it's just his mental strength that's more powerful. Let's see who's so unlucky to team up with that Fatty and that youth. 100 inscription masters began to line up to draw pearls. Jian Linglong got pearl number 20. Other than Jian Linglong, no one else has drawn the 20th pearl. This is also secretly controlled by Qin Yun. In other words, he has the opportunity to be in the same group as Jian Linglong. Soon after, Qin Yun controlled the pearl inside the box to not let it fall to other people. This way, he can be in the same group as Jian Linglong. He doesn't know the situation of this grouping. If Jin family Dao inscription masters are in the same group as Long family Dao inscription masters, it will be Jin family Dao inscription masters who will suffer losses in the end. Now it is Qin Yun's turn. Jin Shutian patted the big box, and a pearl dropped down from the small hole. It is precisely number 20. This is also secretly controlled by Qin Yun. When Jian Linglong saw the young man draw the 20th pearl, her beautiful jade-like face immediately turned green. The people on the stage saw Jian Linglong's stunned expression and burst into laughter. Because she is the unlucky bastard. Xiao Yuanmei and the others know that Qin Yun deliberately arranged this. Even Jin family Dao inscription masters are rejoicing in other people's misfortune. They also know that Jian Linglong is very strong, but she joined Immortal Weapon City. Therefore, they don't want her to obtain those precious runes from the bottom of their hearts. Furthermore, Jian Linglong has Dao Lord Inscription Spirit. If she has enough Dao runes, she will become the most outstanding Dao inscription master. This way, she will be able to suppress the old Dao inscription masters of Jian family. Those old Dao inscription masters are not the least bit convinced by Jian Linglong, because the finesse of Jian Linglong's Dao rune carving is very high. It is all because of inscription spirit, and not because of true skill. Therefore, they secretly reject Jian Linglong. Jian Linglong originally thought that she could amaze the world with a single brilliant feat in this competition and display her formidable inscription level. But now, she is a pig teammate. This will no doubt drag her down and make her unable to reach the end. Hearing the laughter coming from all around, Jian Linglong immediately shouted in anger, "All of you shut up!" Qin Yun's face is filled with smile. He walked to Jian Linglong's side and said, "Sister Linglong, we are teammates." Jian Linglong really wants to kick this young man and send him flying. She would rather be alone than partner with this guy. Naturally, she can only accept it now. "Little demon, you better not drag me down," Jian Linglong said in low voice. "If you don't do anything, I might be able to bring you to the end and obtain good runes. And we can share those good runes." Jian Linglong also cannot see that this young man is Qin Yun. Qin Yun asked in low voice, "Sister Linglong, you are a Jian family member. Do you know why this competition is being carried out as a team?" Jian Linglong groaned and said, "Only Ghost knows." Qin Yun looked at that group of people and asked again, "I saw many two-person teams. All of them are Jian family members. And Long family members are together with other people. Don't tell me that you think this is a coincidence." Jian Linglong said with frown, "Don't tell me that when the pearl was caught, Jian family secretly manipulated it." Just now Qin Yun also paid attention to the box. The person who hit the box is Jian Shitian. He must have used a very ingenious method to not be discovered by others. Jian Linglong paid attention and said, "There are 8 teams formed by Jian family Dao inscription masters. Moreover, they're the more outstanding ones." Qin Yun nodded and said, "Indeed, it looks like a coincidence, but actually it is not. Jian family members did not form a team. It is also to avoid suspicion." Jian Linglong immediately became angry and cursed in low voice. "So you are saying they deliberately threw you to me?" Qin Yun slightly nodded his head. "Extremely likely." Jian Linglong immediately exploded like thunder. She can no longer suppress the anger within her body and wanted to rush towards Jian Shitian. All the inscription masters present, as well as the spectators, can also feel Jian Linglong's anger. Jian Shitian promptly rushed over in a flash and stood in front of Jian Linglong. Qin Yun also underestimated Jian Linglong's temper. She is actually this fiery. "Sister Linglong, I am Qin Yun. Don't lower yourself to their level." Qin Yun promptly sent voice transmission to Jian Linglong. Jian Linglong abruptly turned her head and looked at the young man behind her. She is shocked and happy in her heart. The anger in her heart also disappeared. "Linglong, although your teammate is young, his mental power is also very strong. Don't be too pessimistic," Jian Shitian consoled. Jian Linglong's anger also disappeared along with it. Then she returned to Qin Yun's side. Her heart is blooming with joy. Jian Shitian saw Jian Linglong calm down and felt that it is somewhat strange. However, he also let out a sigh of relief because everyone knows that Jian Linglong's temper is not good. She can flip out at any time. Jian Linglong sent voice transmission to Qin Yun. "You little demon, when did you return? You are still acting sneakily." Qin Yun replied with smile, "I have returned for a few days. I am acting sneakily because I don't want to cause too much disturbance. Sister Linglong, the reason why we can form a team is because I secretly controlled them. You won't blame me, right?" Jian Linglong pinched Qin Yun's charming little face and said with smile, "Of course I won't blame you. Joining hands with you is really too good. Let's work hard together and defeat those guys." She knows that Qin Yun has mastered 2 kinds of inscription spirits. They are Wildfire and Beast King inscription spirit. Moreover, his comprehension of inscription is very high and he has mastered many runes. This is definitely an outstanding partner. Jian Shitian said, "The teams have been divided. Next will be the second round of the competition. Is still mental power. It is actually mental power again. This caused people to feel somewhat astonished. Many people are puzzled. The scene very quickly turned into clamorous noise. Jian Shitian said in a loud voice, "This time, it is mental power battle. Inscription masters need to use mental power to control our specially refined weapons, and then use them to kill star beasts." At this moment, a barrier also appeared, enveloping the round competition arena that was several hundred meters wide. Jian Shitian took out a pagoda and said with smile, "Inside my pagoda, there are 10,000 small star beasts. Every 2 hours, I will release 2,000 star beasts. You will control your weapons to kill star beasts. The 30 teams that kill the most star beasts will enter the next round. The team that kills the most star beasts will obtain all the crystal nucleus." Jian Linglong asked, "When the time comes, the scene will be very chaotic. How will we determine who killed them?" Jian Shitian took out a long sword and said, "These special weapons have your names inside. If you use mental power to control weapons to kill star beasts, your names will also be inside the star beast crystal nucleus." Jian Shitian began handing out those weapons. They're all transparent crystal weapons. Qinyan took it and looked at it. There are 2 crooked characters Xiao Yun written on it. It is exactly the same as what he wrote yesterday. A long family Dao inscription master grumbled. "Clearly we are here to participate in inscription competition. Yet we want to kill star beasts. Truly reckless." Jian Shitian said with smile, "Inscription masters use mental power to control objects. This can even more prove that an inscription master's mental power is brilliant. This kind of inscription master can refine weapons and carve runes that can withstand the test." Qin Yun is actually secretly excited because he is lacking crystal nucleus. If he can get first place, he can obtain 10,000 crystal nucleus. "Sister Linglong, those star beasts' crystal nucleus will be helpful for my cultivation," Qin Yun said. "Let's do our best to get first place." Jian Linglong is rather confident in her own strength. Chapter 767. Moon attracts star wind. Moon attracts star wind. When those inscription masters found out that they can carve runes, their faces showed happy expression. "Then how long do we have to carve runes?" a middle-aged Dao inscription master asked. "I will immediately release a group of star beasts. After you finish killing that group, I will release another group of star beasts in another hour. This period of 1 hour is your rest time. You can use it to carve runes and also rest." Jian Shitian said. The happy expression on those inscription masters' faces immediately disappeared because the time is too short. There is not enough time to carve runes. Qin Yun and Jian Linglong looked at each other and discussed through sound transmission. "We will first kill the second round and then carve runes," Jian Linglong said. "All right." Qin Yun also has the same idea as Jian Linglong. Qin Yun still doesn't know what kind of rune to carve. He wants to see the situation first. Jian Shitian floated in the sky. Other inscription masters are also the same. They want to use mental power to control crystal Xian tools to kill star beasts. "I am preparing to release star beasts," Jian Shitian shouted. He threw out a pagoda. The pagoda quickly became bigger. Suddenly, a large group of star beasts dropped down from the bottom of the pagoda. They are pitch black, like a torrent of waterfall. These star beasts are wolf-type star beasts. They're as big as mature cows. They are indeed relatively small star beasts. Very soon, the battle stage below is filled with large group of black wolves. Now, there are also inscription masters controlling crystal Xian tools to attack the black wolves below. Qin Yun used Imperial Divine Technique to control his crystal Xian tool. His crystal Xian tool is a long saber. Under his control, it agilely chopped down those black wolves. Majority of these inscription masters are martial kings and martial emperors. However, they are not much stronger than Qin Yun when controlling crystal Xian tools with mental power. At most, their mental power is more abundant, and the intensity of their mental power is more or less the same as Qin Yun. Those black wolves are not easy to kill. Because crystal Xian tools are not strong enough, sometimes they can't even break through the black wolf skin. They can only continuously chop down a few times. After breaking through the black wolf's skin, the crystal Xian tools will pierce into the black wolf's body. Then they will have to release a great amount of mental power through the crystal Xian tools and brand their name on the black wolf's crystal nucleus. This process was rather complicated. If he didn't do this, the name wouldn't appear on the crystal core, and it would be useless. Qinyan also found it extremely strenuous. However, in order to obtain first place, he had to risk his life. This was a reward of 10,000 crystal nuclei. If he could obtain it, it would be of great help to him. Jian Linglong's mental power is very strong. The number of black wolf star beasts she killed is not less than those old Dao inscription masters. As for Qin Yun, he is weaker. After all, he has not reached the Xian martial realm. At this moment, he couldn't wait to break through. If he cultivates Xian Dao core, his mental power will also increase by a lot. Finally, an hour passed, and the 2,000 star beasts were killed. Jian Shitian also ordered people to take out the crystal nucleus and check it. The other inscription masters immediately rested, and there weren't many inscription masters carving runes. Only Qin Yun and Jian Linglong are carving runes. Those Dao inscription masters feel that there is no need to carve runes. Because there was not enough time, he had exhausted a large amount of mental energy when he was killing the Black Wolf Star Beast. If he continued to carve runes on crystal Xian tools, he would not have enough time to rest and would consume even more mental energy. And the rest time is only 1 hour. It is basically impossible to carve any good runes. 1 hour is also very tight for Qin Yun and Jian Linglong, because they also need to rest. Qin Yun also thought about what kind of runes he wants to carve. He wants to carve 2 kinds of runes. One is Moon Rune. It is called Moon Guide Rune. It can attract other things. And the other is called Star Wind Rune. It can produce a kind of strange wind that can scatter mental power. He obtained these runes from the inscription gate. Qin Yun has Moon Lady and Star Lord, 2 inscription spirits, so he can carve these 2 spirit runes in a short period of time. And Jian Linglong is carving Dao runes. It also looks very strong. Everyone saw that Qin Yun and Jian Linglong are doing their best to carve runes, and they are endlessly amazed. Before, Jian Linglong wished that she could kill that young man, but now it seems like they are getting along very well. At this moment, Jian Shitian began to announce the first round of crystal nucleus count. Qin Yun and Jian Linglong's group has a total of 35 crystal nucleus. Among them, Qin Yun has 10 and Jian Linglong has 25. It can be seen that the disparity between the two is very big. And the group with the highest number of crystal nucleus, they have a total of 60 crystal nucleus, is a group of 2 Jian family Dao inscription masters. In the blink of an eye, 1 hour passed. Jian Shitian began releasing Black Wolf Star Beasts. The second round of hunting has begun. After it began, everyone burst into an uproar. Qin Yun and Jian Linglong did not move. They're carving runes on crystal Xian tools. This is also what Qin Yun and Jian Linglong secretly agreed on. Not only they want to carve runes, they also want to properly rest and recover their mental power. So they decided not to fight in the second round. Sister Linglong, in the third round, you're in charge of killing. I will go block them, hee. Qin Yun sent sound transmission to Jian Linglong. All right. Anyway, the rules did not say that we can't block others. Jian Linglong said. The second round of hunting finished very quickly. Even if Jian Linglong and Qin Yun participated, they would only be able to seize 34 crystal nucleus. Therefore, even if they don't participate, it won't affect many people. Clearly, in the second round of hunting, Qin Yun and Jian Linglong's group is at the bottom. And now in the overall ranking, Qin Yun and Jian Linglong are ranked 50th, last place. Even if they carve runes, so what? At most, they can only kill a few more star beasts. That's all. Indeed, they are really stupid. This must be Jian Linglong's idea. Women are like this, long hair but short knowledge. Those group of inscription masters are mocking Jian Linglong from the distance. After Qin Yun heard this, he felt very angry for Jian Linglong and promptly said, "You bunch of arrogant old guys. In a while I will let you see who is the one with short knowledge. Yo, you little demon, you want to be a flower protector? A middle-aged man laughed loudly and said, Little demon still wet behind the ears. Don't tell me you want to pursue Jian Linglong. Could it be that he doesn't know Jian Linglong's temperament? She is a famous volcano beauty. The one who spoke is a Jian family Dao inscription master. Little demon, you are so protective of Jian Linglong, but she is not grateful at all. Don't you feel embarrassed? Another middle-aged inscription master said with sneer. Jian Linglong lightly groaned, then moved her head to Qin Yun's side, kissed Qin Yun's lips, and said, I appreciate your kindness. What about it? That middle-aged inscription master's expression immediately froze. His face is burning with pain. Jian Linglong actually kissed that youth's lips in front of thousands of people. This caused everyone to be dumbstruck. Jian family people are especially familiar with Jian Linglong. Therefore, Jian family people are the most astonished. They find it hard to believe that a volcano tigress like Jian Linglong can actually have such amorous side. Qin Yun also did not expect that Jian Linglong would actually kiss his lips. Now, Jian family people can only think that Jian Linglong is acting in a fit of pique. Jian Linglong is also carving runes. She shook her crystal Xian tool and proudly said with smile, We will surely get first place. I have carved Dao runes on my crystal Xian tool. Its might is even stronger, just wait and see. Linglong, as far as I know, you don't have any good Dao runes, especially ones that increase mental power. An old Dao inscription master from Jian family said with sneer. Hee, we are not afraid of you. A Jian family middle-aged man said with laugh. Linglong, you should just admit it. Honestly come back and help us carve runes. Jian Linglong did not get angry. Instead, she said with faint smile, Do you think that Immortal Weapon City is as stingy as you? Immortal Weapon City gave me many good Dao runes. This is also true because Bing Xing said that they must attach importance to Jian Linglong, so the Dao inscription masters of Immortal Weapon Palace generously gave Dao runes to Jian Linglong. Jian family Dao inscription masters are all very astonished. They thought that Jian Linglong would go to Immortal Weapon Palace and also be responsible for carving runes. They did not expect that the Dao inscription masters of Immortal Weapon Palace would actually give precious Dao runes to Jian Linglong. Rest time passed very quickly. Everyone also raised their spirits. They are very much looking forward to the start of the third round. Because in the third round, Jian Linglong will participate again. Moreover, she will use crystal Xian tool carved with runes. Everyone is only looking forward to Jian Linglong's performance. They completely ignored the youth Qin Yun. Because Jian Linglong has Dao Lord inscription spirit, she can carve good Dao runes in a short period of time. That's why people feel that her crystal Xian tool is very strong. And that youth named Xiao Yun, the runes he carved are certainly very ordinary spirit runes. That's all. No one took him seriously. In terms of difficulty, the star and moon runes carved by Qin Yun are also very complicated. Therefore, his crystal Xian tool is also very strong. Jian Shitian released 2,000 black wolf star beasts from the pagoda. Begin. After he shouted loudly, all the inscription masters also promptly released their Xian tools. Qin Yun and Jian Linglong's crystal Xian tools also entered the field. Moreover, they released intense light rays. This is the effect of carving runes. What people did not expect is that Qin Yun's crystal Xian tool did not go to kill the black wolf star beasts. Instead, it is circling around the field. When it is circling around, it produced a very strong gravitational force, bringing all the other crystal Xian tools over. This way, apart from Jian Linglong, other people's crystal Xian tools are circling around Qin Yun's crystal Xian tools. This caused those inscription masters to be dumbfounded. Those inscription masters all flew into a rage and cursed all kind of vulgarities. Then they did their best to control their crystal Xian tools. They want to break away, but they are unable to succeed. Hoo. Jian Linglong's crystal Xian tool is also very formidable. It burst out wave after wave of sword images. They are all illusory images transformed from mental power. They entered the Black Wolf Star Beast bodies and quickly killed a large number of star beasts. Chapter 768. Join hands to craft talismans. Chapter 768. Collaboration to craft talismans. Qin Yin doesn't need to kill Black Wolf Star Beasts. It is very difficult. Moreover, his mental power is not as strong as Jian Linglong's. He only needs to be responsible for bringing other people's Xian tools around. Mu Fengxiao promptly sent sound transmission to Qin Yin. Little demon, doing this is very dangerous. It is very easy to cause public anger. I am not afraid. Fatty Mu, don't expose me. Qin Yin promptly said. Relax. Mu Fengxiao's crystal Xian tool is also moving around. He also gave up on struggling. Those group of inscription masters' expression is incomparably unsightly. Sword Sect Master, he is violating the rules. An old man furiously shouted. Indeed, he is obstructing other people's attack. Quickly stop him. Third round is over. This little demon is truly evil. What kind of rune did he carve? Jin Shitian is also communicating with a few old men, because this kind of thing is something they did not expect. Jian Linglong said, the competition rules did not say that we can't obstruct other people. What we are doing is not violating the rules, because there is no such rule. Jin Shitian also has a headache. This is indeed because they did not consider it thoroughly. Little demon, quickly stop, otherwise I will break your legs. I will crush your eggs. An old man furiously shouted. Old turtle, if you have guts, come over and see whose eggs will be crushed. Qin Yin laughed loudly and said, old turtle, come. That old man is from the Jian family. Although he is very angry, he cannot attack. Otherwise, he will bring shame to the Jian family. Moreover, he might not necessarily be able to defeat Jian Linglong. Just now, Jian Linglong kissed this youth. If he goes over to attack now, maybe Jian Linglong will burst his eggs. Jian Linglong very easily harvested 2,000 Black Wolf Star Beasts. Everyone can see that the crystal nucleus taken out from the Black Wolf Star Beasts have Jian Linglong's name inside. Now, Jian Linglong and Qin Yun's group went from last place to first place. Altogether, they killed more than 2,000 crystal nucleus. In second place is only 130. Qin Yun and Jian Linglong did not use any mental power. They're still as vigorous as before. Jian Shitian also took the opportunity to say, when using crystal Xian tools to kill star beasts, you cannot deliberately disturb others. Qin Yun asked, in that case, if you don't intend to disturb others, it's not against the rules, right? Jian Shitian nodded his head and said, the so-called unintentional interference is the energy fluctuation produced after controlling the Xian tool to kill the star beast. I can see this. Jian Linglong caressed Qin Yun's small, handsome face and said with a smile, it's all right. There are only 2 rounds left. We will surely get first place. The first place would be able to obtain 10,000 crystal nuclei. This was already considered a very generous reward. Such a large amount of crystal nucleus is rather difficult to obtain even for Dao inscription masters. Moreover, it is also very useful. Qin Yun giggled and said, that's true. Those inscription masters who ridiculed Jian Linglong earlier are now extremely jealous. They really did not expect that Jian Linglong and this young man could cooperate so well. In the audience, Yang Shiyu secretly looked at Xiao Xianqin, Zi Qingsheng, and Shui Tianzi. She also discovered something and hurriedly sent a sound transmission to Xiao Xianqin, Sister Yuqin. Is that youth Xiao Yun? This and it's him. Xiao Xianqin also did not expect that Yang Shiyu would be able to see through it. You guys are really something. Xiao Yun's return is such a big matter, and you didn't even tell me. Yang Shiyu rebuked Xiao Xianqin through sound transmission, but in her heart, she is extremely happy. We were worried that you would go find him. When the time comes, you will have to leave Granny Yun Yao's side. It will be very dangerous. Xiao Xianqin promptly explained. It's good that he's back. I was just saying, how could a woman like Linglong suddenly be so enthusiastic towards a little demon? Yang Shiryu said with smile. I indeed can't go find him now, but I can let him come find me. I'll go back and talk to him. Xiao Xianqin said. Did that little girl, Yueme, turn him into this? Yang Shiryu asked with smile. Yueme is also here, I just don't know where she is hiding. Xiao Xianqin also looked around. Yang Shiryu has always been very worried about Qin Yun because a great crisis appeared in the Nether Moon Desolate Domain. Now that she knows that Qin Yun is fine, she feels a lot more relieved. The fourth round of beast hunting has begun. Qin Yun controlled his crystal Xian tool to attack the Black Wolf Star Beasts. Although he is just casually attacking, his crystal Xian tool can release a strange wind that can blow away the mental power inside other people's Xian tools. This way, when the crystal Xian tools near him attack the Black Wolf Star Beasts, their power will be greatly weakened. They will need to attack many times to break the Star Beast defense. Jian Linglong's crystal Xian tool is near Qin Yun's Xian tool. It won't be affected and can quickly harvest the lives of a large group of Black Wolf Star Beasts. Qin Yun and Jian Linglong have already taken first place, but they are still unceasingly killing Black Wolf Star Beasts. This is also because Jian Linglong wants to vent her anger. She wants to let those aloof, old Dao inscription masters have no achievement. In this competition, she wants to ruthlessly trample on those Dao inscription masters who look down on her with extremely high achievement. The fourth round of beast hunting has ended. Jian Linglong killed more than 1,000 Black Wolf Star Beasts. Her crystal Xian tool has been carved with Dao runes. Its might is truly too dreadful. Now nobody dares to look down on her. Everyone also knows that a weapon without runes carved on it is useless, and a crystal weapon carved with Dao runes can increase its power by many times. Jian Linglong's crystal Xian tool can transform into many sword images through Dao runes. Her mental power has also increased by many times. She can easily harvest a group of Black Wolf Star Beasts. The fifth round began. Without any suspense, Jian Linglong once again killed the most. This round of competition is over. First place is Jian Linglong and Qin Yun's team. Altogether, they killed more than 4,000 Black Wolf Star Beasts. Second place only killed more than 400. The disparity is more than 10 times. It must be known that the second place team is composed of two highly respected Dao inscription masters of the Jian family. Jian Linglong is so far ahead of them. Their expression is very unsightly. One can well imagine. Jian Linglong is very happy, she said with chuckle. We are first. Quickly take out the reward. Jian Shitian said with smile. As expected of our Jian family's disciple, you are truly awesome. This is your reward. Jian Linglong took a storage bag, threw it to Qin Yun, and said, Little demon, this is for you. These little toys are useless to elder sister. Qin Yun took the bag, laughed mischievously, and put it away. This makes people feel incomparably envious. Easily obtaining more than 10,000 Star Beast crystal nucleus. This is also a great amount of wealth. Tomorrow morning will be the third round. Afternoon will be the fourth round. Qin Yun is also anxious to cultivate, so he hastily followed Xiao Yueme back to the Divine Inscription Palace. Xiao Xianqin and the others also followed behind. At night, Qin Yun and a few women are cultivating together, quickly absorbing the energy inside the Star Beast crystal nucleus. Big Sister Yang is truly awesome. She actually saw through you in a short while. Xiao Yueme said, It is all because Sister Linglong is too enthusiastic towards you. I won't go see Big Sister Yang for now. I want to seize the time to cultivate Xian Dao core and enter Xian martial realm before the competition. Qin Yun said, I will tell her. She will surely understand. Xiao Xianqin said, And Xiao, next time you also call Big Sister Fox over, let's see if she can cultivate together with me or not. Qin Yun said, Brother, I did not expect you to have an affair with that Big Sister Fox. Xiao Yueme said with light smile. Don't talk nonsense. She and I are only friends. Moreover, we have cooperated a few times. Qin Yun promptly explained. This caused Shui, Tianzi, and the others to giggle tenderly. Qin Yun and a few women cultivated together for a night. The Xian spirit Dao crystal became a bit bigger. According to this speed, he might break through in a few days. The next day, Qin Yun arrived at the Sword Immortal Villa very early. He is about to participate in the third round of the inscription competition. Jian Linglong also arrived at the competition stage very early and waited for Qin Yun. Qin Yun, how come you still haven't reached Xian martial realm? Jian Linglong asked with sound transmission. Qin Yun can only explain again that he is trapped inside the space-time channel. After the competition is over, I will help you obtain crystal nucleus and let you quickly break through. Jian Linglong said. And then I will first thank Sister Linglong. Qin Yun said with smile. Participating inscription masters and spectators also arrived one after another. Today there are only 30 groups left, altogether 60 people. Mu Fengxiao is also still on the stage. He has not been eliminated. Jian Shitian said. The next competition is to refine Xian talismans. You can refine any kind of Xian talisman. As long as it can produce formidable might, it is fine. He took out a small pagoda and said, after refining Xian talisman inside, place it inside this pagoda to stimulate its power. If it is strong enough, the vibration produced by this pagoda will be even stronger. Altogether, there are 100 vibration levels. The highest 10 groups can enter the next round. Can only carve Xian runes? Jian Linglong asked with frown. You are not allowed to carve Dao runes. Of course, if you have the ability, you can carve star runes and moon runes. Finished Xian talisman will be tested. If there are Dao runes, it will be invalid. Jian Shitian said. This also made many inscription masters feel a lot more relieved, because Jian Linglong's Dao Lord Inscription Spirit will not be of use. Jian Linglong asked again, can you carve totem runes? Jian Shitian said with smile. Of course you can. However, this will consume a lot of time. If you can complete it within the time limit, do as you please. Just don't carve Dao runes. Jian Linglong felt a lot more relieved because Qin Yun has many totems. Moreover, majority of them are beast totems. The time limit is 3 hours. Jian Shitian took out an hourglass. Let's begin. After the competition began, Jian Linglong sent sound transmission to Qin Yun. I will make talisman paper. You will carve runes. Have you thought about what rune to carve? We will make talisman paper together. Otherwise, I will be very bored. Qin Yun said with smile. As for what rune to carve, Qin Yun has not thought about it yet. The main thing is that he has mastered many curious runes. He still has not thought about how to combine them. Chapter 769. The most explosive scene when crafting talisman papers. There is no special restriction on the materials used. At this time, the advantage of Dao inscription masters can be clearly seen. Jian Linglong used many good materials to craft talisman papers. They all contain very strong energy inside. This kind of material is also called energy material. It is very expensive. Qin Yun looked at the other inscription masters. The materials they use to craft talisman papers are also this kind of energy material. After crafting talisman papers, if they carve suitable runes, the energy inside will burst out several times. The might will be very formidable. Only when crafting Dao talismans, because Dao runes can make the energy inside burst out with even stronger might. Although Qin Yun also said that he wants to craft talisman papers together, he can't help. With his current level, he still can't control the refining of energy material. He also never tried before. Other Xian inscription masters are very careful when crafting talisman papers because if they are not careful, the energy inside will burst out. Therefore, inscription master is also a high-risk profession. It is not like there are no inscription masters who were killed or injured by the explosion of their own Dao talismans. While crafting talisman papers, Jian Linglong specially separated out a part of her power to protect Qin Yun. On the competition stage, each group of inscription masters are separated very far away from each other. This is also to prevent the other party's talisman papers from exploding. Qin Yun is only responsible for handing over the materials from his side. The process of forging talisman papers is done by Jian Linglong herself. The other group's inscription masters are being refined by 2 people. After all, they're all Dao inscription masters, so they can cooperate very well. Not long after it started, Jian Linglong's face is filled with fragrant sweat. Qin Yin promptly helped to wipe it to prevent the sweat from dripping down. Not only Jian Linglong is like this, other inscription masters are also like this. They're all very nervous. Their expression is very grave. In order to make the Xian talismans they are crafting erupt with even stronger power, the talisman papers they're using are Dao talisman grade energy talisman papers. If they're not careful and explode during the refining process, it is very possible that they will be injured by the explosion. Qin Yun is watching from the side, seriously noting down every step. If there is something he doesn't understand, he will ask Jian Linglong. He has gained a lot of experience. Jian Linglong is also very patient in teaching Qin Yun. Regarding teaching other people, she is very experienced. When she was in the Immortal Weapon City, she often guided Lu Jingming. Other groups have 2 people working together to make talisman papers. But in Jian Linglong and Qin Yun's group, only Jian Linglong is the main force. Qin Yun can only watch from the side. So, after they finished making talisman papers, Jian Linglong was still busy. It seems that this kid doesn't have much real ability. He can't interfere at all and can only watch from the side. This young man is here to mess around. His strength should be in mastering some unorthodox, strange inscriptions. When crafting powerful, profound talismans, these strange patterns are completely useless. I really did not expect that this woman Jian Linglong would actually like this kind of young and inexperienced brat. An old cow eating young grass. Jian Linglong did not hear those words, otherwise she would definitely go crazy. The time limit for this match was 6 hours. Jian Linglong took nearly 2 hours to refine the materials. She is slower than other people by roughly 2 hours. As for the other groups, they had already started working together to carve runes. There are only 2 hours left. Jian Linglong looked at Qin Yun and asked with sound transmission, "Have you thought about what kind of rune you want to carve?" Qin Yun already thought about it. He said, "Fire totem and some fire attribute runes." "All right, you can carve the rune part." Jian Linglong handed over the somewhat thick talisman paper to Qin Yun. The talisman paper is black. After Qin Yun touched it, he sensed that it contains very dreadful energy. The energy is already stabilized. Just do it as usual. Jian Linglong lightly smiled. Qin Yun took out the mental resonance Xian pen. His mental resonance Xian pen has been disguised. It won't be easily seen through. Moreover, he released a light mist to cover it. Qin Yun began carving fire totem. His fire totem has been evolved by Mo. It is a Xian totem. Its might is formidable. He has the wildfire inscription spirit. He easily carved the fire totem inside the black talisman paper. Soon after, he carved the explosive flame star rune. This is a fire attribute rune and also a star rune. This way, his wildfire and star lord rune can be superimposed. It will have even higher finesse. Legend has it that there is another kind of rune called star moon rune. It is the fusion of star rune and moon rune. It is a formidable rune, second only to sun rune. If Qin Yun could obtain it, he would also be able to carve it easily. He is currently carving explosive flame star rune very quickly. He finished in a short while. His mental resonance Xian pen released a burst of light that enveloped the talisman paper, so nobody knows what rune he is carving. It is the same for other Dao inscription masters. They are all doing it in secret. Everyone feels that it is strange that Jian Linglong is letting Qin Yun carve runes. Jian Linglong also admits that if it doesn't involve Dao runes, she is far inferior to Qin Yun. After Qin Yun finished carving explosive flame star rune, he also carved a few fire attribute Xian runes. And finally, he carved burning sea moon rune. It is also a very strong fire attribute rune. Time's up. Jian Shitian saw that the sand in the hourglass is completely leaking and shouted. Actually, other groups have already finished. Only Qin Yun is the slowest. After the time is up, Qin Yin immediately stopped. Then he used his mental power to check the runes inside. They're all perfectly fused with each other. There is no conflict at all. He handed over the talisman to Jian Linglong. Jian Linglong took it and looked at it. She is so shocked that her delicate body trembled. Although she is unable to clearly see the runes inside, she can sense that the energy inside the talisman is surging violently. After the runes are carved, the energy inside the talisman paper has increased by a lot. Begin testing. Jian Shitian took out a pagoda, made the pagoda bigger, and then opened the door. 30 groups of people are lining up. They handed over the refined Xian talismans to Jian Shitian. Let him activate them, and then throw them inside the pagoda to test the level of vibration. That pagoda is a very strong Dao tool. With the might of Xian talismans, it is very difficult to destroy it. Jian Shitian took a talisman and carefully inspected it. After determining that there are no Dao runes carved on it, he placed it inside the pagoda. Boom! The first result has appeared. The might is very formidable. The vibration released by the pagoda caused the entire competition stage to shake. It also caused many younger generation to be endlessly frightened. They feel as if the earth is about to collapse. 68 level vibration power. Jian Shitian looked at the disc in his hand. The vibration level is displayed on it. The highest is 100 level. 68 level is already so strong. If it is 100 level, it is hard to imagine. Moreover, the vibration power is sealed inside the pagoda. If it directly exploded, it would certainly be very dreadful. Jian Shitian continued testing. Next, the entire competition stage and spectator stands sank into continuous vibration. Boom, boom, boom. After Jian Shitian threw a Xian talisman inside, the pagoda started shaking violently. It is also because the pagoda is floating, otherwise the competition stage would have been torn apart by the vibration power overflowing from the pagoda. 89 level. Jian Shitian shouted in amazement. He looked at the two Jian family Dao inscription masters. 89 level. This is the level of Dao talisman. Truly awesome. Without using Dao runes, they can make Xian talismans comparable to Dao talismans. If they make Dao talismans, the might would be unimaginable. They are currently the highest level. I also admire them. All the inscription masters on the stage sighed with emotion and exclaimed in admiration. Finally, it is Jian Linglong's turn. Because her group finished the slowest, they are also the last. In the previous test, the strongest vibration power was 89 level. She knows that the runes Qin Yin carved are very strong, but she estimated that they are around 80 level. This number can also enter top 10. Only 6 groups can have vibration power at 80 level. Jian Shitian took the black Xian talisman from Jian Linglong and very carefully inspected it. Because Jian Linglong has Dao Lord Inscription Spirit, she can carve Dao runes in a short period of time. At this time, a few old men walked over and earnestly inspected the talisman. Qin Yin used very secretive technique to carve runes. They can only see a very messy part. It is very difficult to see what kind of runes it is. Jian Linglong somewhat angrily said, "You bunch of bastards, are you afraid that I will cheat? Are you all blind? The one carving runes is that little demon, not me. It's nothing, this is just a precaution. There is no problem with your talisman." Jian Shitian promptly said with smile, "Let's begin the test now." Because it is a little youth who carved runes, other Dao inscription masters scoffed at it. Jian Linglong also walked far away and arrived beside Qin Yin. Qin Yin is also secretly worried because this is the first time he is fusing totem, Xian rune, star rune, and moon rune together. He doesn't know if he will succeed or not. After Jian Shitian threw the talisman in, there is no reaction. Is there a problem? Jian Shitian said with frown. Qin Yin's heart also thumped. He thought that he failed. Just as those inscription masters were about to ridicule, a loud boom sound suddenly exploded, causing the pagoda to explode. A large amount of flames also surged out, fiercely enveloping the entire competition stage. That pagoda exploded into countless fragments. Like meteors, they flew in all directions and hit the barrier of the competition stage. The entire competition stage looks like there are countless ferocious flame beasts struggling. It is already filled with intense blood-colored flame. The furious roar of the flame is like the roar of a ferocious beast, frantic and shocking. The red firelight illuminated the audience, causing everyone to stand up and stare at it with their mouths agape. This kind of might is the power of a Tao talisman. Fortunately, Jian Shitian is a half-immortal. Moreover, there are many martial emperors among the Tao inscription masters. They promptly extinguished the flame. After the flame was extinguished, the people inside the competition stage, one by one their faces were burnt to ashes. Their faces are filled with shock. The ground is a complete mess. The thick stone tiles on the ground have been shattered into pieces. That Tao Tool pagoda also turned into many small fragments and scattered all over the competition stage. Chapter 770. Small Storm. Chapter 770. Small Storm. Even Qin Yun and Jian Linglong find the might of that talisman hard to believe. Qin Yun also discovered that if it is combined with Tao runes, the might would be even stronger. After Jian Linglong calmed down, she asked, "What level of vibration is that?" Jian Shitian looked at the disc in his hand. It has 100 written on it. 100-level vibration power. Other inscription masters found it hard to accept this result. If those runes were carved by Jian Linglong, they could still accept it. However, it was carved by a young man. It can only mean that this young man has very good mastery of runes and even has inscription spirit. Only like this can he carve powerful runes in a short period of time. Jian Linglong also knows that Qin Yun used fire totem, but this kind of might is beyond her expectation. We are now first. Although Jian Linglong is still confused, she is very happy to see those inscription masters with ugly expression. Jian Linglong and Qin Yun's group once again took first place. This caused those old inscription masters to feel very unbalanced in their hearts. The competition stage has been severely damaged. Sword Immortal Pavilion is the most distressed because their Tao tools have been destroyed. Everyone rest for 2 hours. We will quickly repair the competition stage. Jian Shitian picked up a fragment and felt very stifled in his heart. Then he looked at Qin Yun. Now, those inscription masters are very curious. What kind of rune did Qin Yun carve? It is actually so powerful and can produce such great might. This kind of power is equivalent to a high-grade Tao talisman's power, and this kind of high-grade Tao talisman requires a period of time to make. It is not something that can be made in 6 hours. This is also the reason why many inscription masters are puzzled. Jian Linglong secretly suspects that Qin Yun has already obtained Star Lord inscription spirit and just carved a powerful star rune. Of course, she is only guessing. She did not ask. Qin Yun and Jian Linglong are resting at the side of the competition stage. Now only 10 groups can enter the next round. Mu Fengxiao's group was also eliminated this time. Jian Shitian called many people to quickly repair the damaged area. They only need to lay some stone bricks again. At this time, some Tao inscription masters walked over. Jian Linglong, what kind of runes did you carve? The person who asked is a very fierce-looking old man. It is unknown which faction he is from. What do we use runes have to do with you? Jian Linglong saw that the old man's tone is not good and coldly replied, "That kind of power doesn't make sense. Therefore, we suspect that the little demon used a taboo rune." The old man said angrily, "If that's the case, our divine inscription palace will take action." Jian Linglong immediately became angry and shouted, "Bullshit taboo rune. You bunch of sanctimonious pigs from the Divine Inscription Palace. If you have the time, why don't you go kill the devil cultivators who invaded the Spirit Desolate and instead do such baseless things?" So that old man was from the Divine Inscription Palace. Only the Divine Inscription Palace could control so much. Jian Linglong, you are so rude to the Divine Inscription Palace. We want to take back your badge. That old man furiously said. Clearly, His position in the Divine Inscription Palace is not low. Take it, old fart, if you don't clearly explain the taboo rune matter today, I will let you have a good time. Jian Linglong furiously took out her badge, vigorously crushed it, and threw it on the ground. You. That old man became even more furious. He pointed at Jian Linglong, but did not say anything. You motherfucker, quickly explain the taboo rune matter. Otherwise, I will treat it as you deliberately stirring up trouble. If I don't break your dog legs, I will change my surname to yours. Jian Linglong flipped out. Her entire body is covered in flame. She took out a very strong, large sword and pointed it at that old man. In fact, the so-called taboo runes are star, moon, and sun runes. However, everyone uses these runes. Even in this competition, they're used as a reward. The reason why star, moon, and sun runes are called taboo runes is to restrict many inscription masters from using them. Generally speaking, this kind of runes can only be used by the Divine Inscription Palace. And all the big sects and families have a certain amount of authority in the Divine Inscription Palace. They all have people working in the Divine Inscription Palace. Therefore, it can be said that they have obtained authorization to use them. In other words, taboo runes are basically not harmful, not like devil arts. Jian Linglong is also very angry because of this, because that old man is deliberately stirring up trouble. He deliberately made the matter sound very serious so that he can take action against Qin Yun. Then he will interrogate Qin Yun about those runes and let the Divine Inscription Palace take them for themselves. The old inscription masters of the Divine Inscription Palace also frequently do this. However, they did not expect that they would kick an iron board this time. After that old man from the Divine Inscription Palace sensed Jian Linglong's killing intent, he promptly looked at Jian Shitian. Jian Shitian also walked over. Linglong, if you have any grudges, wait until you leave the Sword Island to settle it. Jian Shitian said, All right, wait until this guy leaves the Sword Island. I will immediately send him back to heaven. Jian Linglong stored her sword. That little demon used taboo runes. Without our Divine Inscription Palace's permission, you cannot use them, because taboo runes are very unstable. If you use them without enough strength, it will bring about great harm. Everyone saw it just now. After that little demon carved runes, how dreadful that talisman is. It is caused by the instability of the taboo runes. Divine Inscription Palace's old man still did not calm down. He continued to shout in anger. Divine Inscription Palace's people are determined to restrict Qin Yun from using those runes. Jian Linglong asked in deep voice, All right, what do you think we should do then? Of course we should make him hand over those taboo runes. Then let us study them and improve them, make them more stable, and let everyone study them together. Divine Inscription Palace's old man said with sneer, Go to hell and dream. Jian Linglong's temper is very bad. She ferociously rushed over and grabbed that old man's throat. Jian Shitian and a few half-immortals promptly walked over and pulled Jian Linglong away. Jian Linglong is so angry that she started cursing loudly. Divine Inscription Palace's old man is also secretly afraid, but he still loudly shouted, We inscription masters should join hands and make that little demon hand over the taboo runes. At this time, many inscription masters also stood up. There are no Jian family inscription masters, although they often laugh at Jian Linglong. Now they can see that this volcanic beauty is in a state of eruption. If she is angered, she won't even recognize her own family and will start massacre. Jian Shitian, your Sword Immortal Pavilion is holding the Sword Martial Inscription Competition. Now that this kind of situation has occurred, you should disqualify that little demon and capture him. Divine Inscription Palace's old man saw that many Dao inscription masters are supporting him. He became a lot more unyielding and continued to shout at Qin Yun. Jian Shitian said, Let's talk about it after the competition is over. There are two half-immortals standing beside Jian Linglong, so she cannot rush over. Qin Yun suddenly said, I don't even know what taboo runes are. Why don't you tell me what taboo runes are? Taboo runes are, they are taboo runes. They are evil spirit runes with extraordinary might. Divine Inscription Palace's old man doesn't dare to directly say that it is star and moon runes because many sects use them. Truth be told, I just carved a fire totem on that talisman. Qin Yun said again, is this a taboo rune? Fire totem. This caused those inscription masters to be emotionally moved. How can you carve a fire totem in such a short period of time? This is impossible. Divine Inscription Palace's old man promptly shouted, you are swindling people. If I can carve it, what will you say? Qin Yun said with sneer, you slandered me just now. I will also settle this debt. How do I know if you have mastered a fire totem or not? Unless you announce it. Divine Inscription Palace's old man said with sneer. This caused many inscription masters to agree one after another. They also started shouting noisily. Qin Yun chuckled, then took out a piece of paper and used a pen to quickly draw many runes. Nearly an hour passed by. Qin Yun is finally done. This is the fire totem. Take it. Qin Yun handed over the paper. Divine Inscription Palace's old man took the paper and earnestly looked at it. Many inscription masters also came over to take a look. Jian Linglong also doesn't know what Qin Yun is doing, but she knows that he will absolutely not hand over the real fire totem. This is indeed a fire totem, an experienced and knowledgeable old Dao inscription master said. It is actually a real fire totem. This caused everyone present to burst into commotion. Divine Inscription Palace's old man is also concentrating his mind to record the runes on the paper. Now many inscription masters have confirmed one after another that this is a real fire totem. It is real. Quickly record it down. Quickly record it down. Many inscription masters took out recording tools. So long as they look at the paper for a period of time, they can record it down. At this moment, the paper suddenly burst into flames. This caused many inscription masters to burst into curses. Despicable guy. I gave you the fire totem, but you want to keep it for yourself. Qin Yun furiously cursed at the Divine Inscription Palace's old man. Clearly the paper burned on its own. What does it have to do with me? Make another one. That Divine Inscription Palace's old man is also dumbfounded. The fire totem I obtained is very special. I can only carve it twice every 3 years. That carving just now was my last chance in the next 3 years. If I continuously carve fire totem runes, I will suffer backlash from the fire totem and intercultivation deviation. You are from Divine Inscription Palace. You must know this, so you burn the paper to keep it for yourself. Am I right? Qin Yun furiously said. Regarding totem runes, even many Dao inscription masters know very little about them. Therefore, they believe Qin Yun's words very much, because they firmly believe that what they saw just now was a profound and complex fire totem rune. They clearly had the opportunity to obtain the fire totem rune, but now it was burned by the Divine Inscription Palace's old man. Jian Linglong also secretly laughed in her heart, then cooperated with Qin Yun and said in cold voice, this old bastard from Divine Inscription Palace must have mastered some kind of technique. He instantly recorded the fire totem rune and then burned the paper. Truly a scum. Divine Inscription Palace's old man is filled with fury in his heart. He loudly shouted, little demon, it was clearly your doing. Chapter 771. Crystal Formation Pearl. Chapter 771. Crystal Formation Pearl. Jian Linglong said, this little demon Xiao Yun is too young. Within a certain period of time, he cannot carve totem runes too many times, otherwise it will cause great damage to his mental power. Now, many Dao inscription masters are criticizing the old man one after another. Qin Yun yelled, Senior's little brother, in order to prove my innocence, I contributed my precious fire totem rune, but it has been monopolized by this old man. Now, don't you want him to contribute runes of the same level to make up for our loss? After that Divine Inscription Palace old man heard this, he looked at the group of Dao inscription masters and felt as if he's being stared at by a group of wolves. It should be done. Little brother, you contributed your totem rune. This old man should at least contribute 8 or 10 Dao runes, right? Right. Old man, quickly hand over all the fire totem and Tao runes you have mastered. This little brother is so young, yet he is so magnanimous in handing over his fire totem. You're an old man who is about to die. Why do you still have so many Tao runes? Old man, you have monopolized a fire totem rune. What else do you want? Quickly hand over the Tao runes. A group of Tao inscription masters are making a ruckus. There are Long family Tao inscription masters and Jin family Tao inscription masters. After all, this is a matter that is beneficial to everyone, so they're all standing on the same line. Jin Linglong secretly praised Qin Yun's brilliant move. He threw out a half-true, half-false fire totem. Not only did he overcome the crisis, he even made a false accusation. Maybe he can even fish out some Tao runes. That divine inscription palace old man is being surrounded by many Tao inscription masters. They want him to either hand over the Tao runes or carve the fire totem. However, that divine inscription palace old man has not mastered the fire totem at all. Only he knows that he is being blackmailed. However, if this matter were to be spread out, nobody would believe it. Now he is suffering unspeakable bitterness. In the arena, it was a mess. Spectators are also watching with fear and trepidation. It must be known that just now, it was that divine inscription palace old man who brought a large group of people to force that youth to hand over the taboo runes. And now, almost all the Tao inscription masters are besieging the old man from divine inscription palace, forcing him to hand over the Tao runes and fire totem. Yang Shiyu was secretly delighted. Of course, she knew what was going on. She even suspected that Qin Yun's previous life had awakened. No matter how one looked at it, it looked like the work of Qin Yun's previous life. Xiao Xinqin also feels the same way. Just now, she was as angry as Jian Linglong, but now, she feels very happy. The situation has already gone out of control. Jian Shitian and a few half-immortals are also unable to stop those Tao inscription masters. Jian Linglong shouted, "If this old fellow doesn't contribute his Tao rune and fire totem, we will not compete. We will go on strike." Jian Shitian cursed Jian Linglong in his heart. She actually added fuel to the fire. Many Tao inscription masters also approve of Jian Linglong's way of doing things and loudly shouted, "Strike. You bunch of bastards, I want to take back your badges." The old man from the divine inscription palace was also infuriated. "It's just a broken badge, I don't need it. We are dignified Tao inscription masters. We don't care about your divine inscription palace's treatment." A Tao inscription master furiously crushed a badge into pieces. Many Tao inscription masters also followed suit one after another. Jian Linglong angrily said, "Xiaoyun sacrificed his last chance to carve fire totem and offered it to all of us. It was swallowed up by this guy alone. Let's not talk about the matter of him swallowing the fire totem alone. Xiaoyun so generously gave the fire totem to him. He should also be a bit fair. Courtesy demands reciprocation. He should also give some Tao runes to Xiaoyun." But now, those Tao inscription masters can see that this situation is very likely to force the old man to hand over the Tao runes. Therefore, they're even more ferocious in their crusade. Qin Yun is happily watching the show from the side, but his face is filled with innocence and sadness. His appearance is also very pitiful, causing many women present to feel incomparable heartache. One after another, they loudly curse the shamelessness of the divine inscription palace. This is also the rhythm that Xiao Yuanmei is secretly leading. From the spectator seats, many words of bullying children, disrespecting elders, and so on came out. All of them are attacking the old man from the divine inscription palace. The old man from the divine inscription palace is very regretful that he provoked Qin Yun. Otherwise, he would not have a fart problem. But now he has provoked trouble all over his body. The competition stage has also been repaired. Everyone did not rest. They surrounded the old man from the divine inscription palace. There are two ways. Either you hand over the fire totem that belongs to everyone, or you contribute a Tao rune of equal value. A middle-aged Tao inscription master said, "I did not obtain the fire totem at all. It was that paper that burned itself." The old man from the divine inscription palace shouted in anger with flushed face and ears. He said this countless of times, but nobody believed him. Finally, the old man from the divine inscription palace could not hold on anymore. All right, I will contribute a Dao rune. How can one be enough? I want 3. Someone shouted. Right, 3 Dao runes. The old man cursed the mothers of these people in his heart. He did not expect that he would be looking for an opportunity to force Jianling Long and Qin Yun out of the competition. But now he got involved in such a big matter. 2. The old man from the divine inscription palace also made a concession. If this goes on, he will not be able to return alive. 2 high-quality Dao runes. Jianling Long shouted. All right, the old man from the divine inscription palace shouted in anger. His eyes turned red. He finished speaking and took out 2 beast skins. The Dao runes on them are indeed high-quality Dao runes. Those Dao inscription masters also calmed down and took out tools. Those tools are like mirrors. After looking at the 2 beast skins for a while, they can record them. Jianling Long also went over to record them. She's extremely happy in her heart. She admires Qin Yun even more. The old man from the divine inscription palace even has the heart to die. He tried to steal a chicken, but ended up losing the rice used to lure it. Qin Yun also went over to record the Dao runes. Moreover, he expressed his gratitude. Wouldn't it have been fine if you did this earlier? We would not have wasted our breath. Little bastard, just you wait. That old man's face turned green in anger. His eyes are filled with killing intent. Qin Yun is not afraid at all. He stood beside Jianling Long with mischievous smile and grabbed her soft as jade hand. This matter has finally calmed down. Those Dao inscription masters are also very happy. It must be known that many Dao inscription masters were eliminated, but now they have such a great harvest. They obtained 2 Dao runes. Those 2 Dao runes have been mastered by so many Dao inscription masters. Very soon they will be common on the streets. However, your Dao runes are after all high-quality Dao runes. They are rather precious. Jin Shitian saw that the matter has calmed down and heaved a sigh of relief. Now the 4th round will begin. Jin Shitian shouted. The 4th round will decide the ranking. The first place inscription master will obtain Sun Rune as reward. Second place will obtain Dao Rune and Moon Rune. Third place will obtain Star Rune and Moon Rune. The ranking will be decided so quickly, and there are only 10 groups entering the final round. Those inscription masters are all calmly listening. Jin Shitian said, in the final round, groups will cooperate, but when it comes to deciding the ranking, they will be separated. In other words, it is possible that 2 inscription masters in a group can obtain ranking. This caused many people to feel surprised. Originally, they thought that one group could only obtain 1 prize. And this final round is definitely not simple. Jin Shitian said, the final round is to refine formation pearls. He took out a half-person tall crystal pearl and continued, we will provide you with royal grade Xian runes. You will have to carve the royal grade Xian runes inside the pearl. Only by passing can it be considered as a result. The ranking will be based on the number of pearls carved. If the number is the same, then the ranking will be based on finesse. The time limit is 6 hours. This kind of pearl is mainly used to set up formations. The effect is very good. Sword Immortal Pavilion now also wants these inscription masters to do something. Sister Linglong, if it was you, how many can you carve? Qin Yun asked. 1 hour for 1. In 6 hours, I can only carve 3. If I go all out, maybe I can carve 4. Jianling Long said. Jin Shitian ordered people to distribute the royal grade Xian runes. Qin Yun looked at it and felt that it is not too difficult. After all the inscription masters looked at it for half an hour, Jin Shitian announced the start of the competition. Qin Yun used mental resonance Xian pen to carve. This can ensure that the finesse is even higher. He also doesn't know what kind of Xian rune it is. He only knows that it is rather peculiar. Qin Yun and other inscription masters are the same. They all released blood spirit power and earnestly carved the royal grade Xian rune. I should also be able to carve one within an hour. Qin Yun now feels great pressure because those Tao inscription masters have very high cultivation. They will certainly have more advantage than him. This won't do. I will definitely lose. Qin Yin discovered that there are many inscription masters who are faster than him. Because this is a competition, Jian Linglong is also doing her best. More than half an hour passed. Other than Qin Yin, all the other Tao inscription masters have finished one. Qin Yin used a full 2 hours to finish one. This won't do. I definitely won't be able to get a single rank. Qin Yin looked at Jian Linglong and discovered that her speed is also the fastest. It is very likely that she will enter the top 3. Xiaoyun, if you go on like this, you will lose. Ling Yuner suddenly said. I know. Qin Yun sighed. I have not even reached Xian martial realm. It is too strenuous to compete with a group of martial kings and martial emperors. Ling Yuner said, I have a method. You stack a few pieces of bee skin together, then use the penetration divine ability to inscribe a few sets of the same royal grade profound talisman on a few pieces of bee skin at one time, and finally use the soul refining technique to transfer the profound markings on the bee skin into the pearl. The Xian runes that are inscribed all use the power of the blood soul, so using the soul refining technique to move it should also work. This is only my idea. I am not sure if it will succeed or not. Moreover, you only have 2 hours left. Chapter 772. Idea comes true. Qin Yin took out 4 bee skins and stacked them together. Everyone doesn't know what he wants to do. They only feel that it is somewhat strange. Jian Linglong is not far away. She asked with sound transmission. Qin Yin, what are you doing? Don't waste time. Quickly carve. Otherwise, you won't be able to enter top 3. Jian Linglong is not far away. She asked with sound transmission. Qin Yin, what are you doing? She had also seen Qin Yin carve a bead. His speed was relatively slow, and there was no hope of him entering the top 3. Now, she was only comforting him. Qin Yin is very clear about the disparity between him and other Tao inscription masters, so he can only use other methods. Sister Linglong, I might not be able to enter top 3. It's all up to you. He finished speaking and began carving Xian runes on the folded bee skins. Because he is not sure whether or not he will succeed, Qin Yin can only temporarily put aside success and failure and wholeheartedly focus on carving Xian runes. Only like this can he make the finesse of Xian runes even higher. When Qin Yin was inscribing, he used the special characteristic of the mysterious penetration divine ability. Furthermore, he released even more blood soul power. This way, he could inscribe on 4 bee skins at once. After starting for a while, he secretly rejoiced in his heart because this method is feasible. Although mental power consumption is great, it can increase speed. Maybe in the future, I can also make talismans like this. Qin Yin thought in his heart. If you get used to it, it will be even faster. It is very suitable for making Xian talismans. Ling Yuner said with smile. Xiaoyun, Tao of inscription, and martial Tao are all-encompassing. You must combine all the things you have mastered together and master them thoroughly. Qin Yin nodded his head. His current action attracted the attention of many Tao inscription masters, especially those Tao inscription masters outside the stage. They all want to know what Qin Yin is doing. It seems like Qin Yin has given up on the competition, but now he is incomparably serious. Very quickly, more than an hour passed by. Majority of Tao inscription masters have finished carving 2 crystal pearls, and very few have already carved 3. Now they're starting on the 4th. Jian Linglong has already started on the 4th one. She is only a bit slower than other Tao inscription masters. And Qin Yin used mysterious penetration divine ability to carve those Xian runes on the 4 stacked bee skins. He asked Jian Shitian for 4 pearls. Kid, how did you do it? He can carve the same Xian rune on 4 bee skins in one go. An inscription master who is watching from the side asked. This inscription master is a half immortal. He is very amazed. This is my secret technique, Qin Yin said, then covered a pearl with a beast's skin. At this time, everyone immediately understood what he was going to do. He actually wants to move the Xian rune on the beast's skin into the bead. If he really succeeded, then he would be able to complete 4 beads. This kind of technique is also unheard of by the inscription masters. Jin Linglong is also very amazed. She really did not expect that Qin Yun would know this kind of strange skill. Young man, the unorthodox way is not going to work. Your way of thinking is very good, but you are too naive. A Dao inscription master mocked. You can carve Xian runes on 4 bee skins at the same time. This is indeed a pretty good technique. But if you want to move the runes inside the bee skin into a tool, that is simply wishful thinking. Little demon, it is not like we have never had this kind of thinking before. There are also many people who have tried it, but no one has ever succeeded. Hee, it is very similar to me when I was young. Who was not like this when they were young? In order to take shortcuts, they always thought of some strange methods. A group of Dao inscription masters who are watching from the sidelines cannot help but talk about the strange and wonderful ideas they had when they were young. Later on, they fell down many times and recognized the reality. They honestly followed the experience of their predecessors. Qin Yun covered the half-a-person tall crystal pearl with a bee's skin. Then, he used a secret technique of soul-refining art to condense a special soul-shifting power. He moved the Xian rune and guided it into the crystal pearl. Qin Yun used blood spirit power to carve the Xian rune. Now he can use the soul-shifting power very smoothly. Of course, in order to maintain the stability of the Xian rune, Ling Yun released a special gravity to wrap up the Xian rune, not letting any fluctuation outside damage the Xian rune. This movement process is the most crucial, because if the Xian rune fluctuates even a little, the finesse will be greatly reduced and even lead to a problem in the entire Xian rune. It is necessary to move the Xian rune intact. This requires extremely focused mental power as well as incomparably precise control over mental power. Qin Yun is sweating profusely while he is doing this. Although the scene is noisy and there are aura fluctuations all around, he is able to enter a very wonderful state. At this moment, he feels that he is inside a vast expanse of white space. There is only him, the crystal pearl, and the Xian rune. Everything around him has directly disappeared. He is very quiet and focused in this world. He can even see some colorful air currents rushing over. These air currents are the aura of heaven and earth and all kinds of spiritual energy. He can clearly see these air currents, and he can simply block them, not letting them appear around him. In this way, he can move the Xian rune even more precisely. When Qin Yun obtained the soul-refining technique, Granny Qiao told him that the combination of inscription and soul-refining is the best. Now he finally understands the meaning behind it. The Xian rune carved on the bee skin covering the crystal pearl suddenly disappeared. And inside the crystal pearl, some Xian runes also appeared. He has succeeded. This caused all the inscription masters present to be dumbstruck. Each and every one of them can't believe what they are seeing. Jin Linglong and the other inscription masters who are earnestly carving Xian runes have no choice but to be distracted and look at the Xian runes inside Qin Yun's pearl. Let's not talk about the finesse inside. At least he has realized the idea of many people when they were young. Move the runes inside the bee skin onto the tool. This kind of whimsical idea is something that many inscription masters have thought about, and now it has finally been realized by someone. Qin Yun also grinned and continued on to the next one. This way, his progress has become a lot faster. According to the remaining time, it is very likely that he will be able to make 5 pearls. This immediately caused those leading Dao inscription masters to become nervous. Before, they also thought that this youth gave up and took the unorthodox path. But now it seems like the unorthodox path is feasible. Qin Yun has a successful experience. The following process became much smoother. Although his mental power consumption is great, he can still maintain it until the end. The competition time is almost up. Qin Yun also successfully moved the Xian runes inside the 4 bee skins into the 4 pearls. In addition to the pearl he completed before, he has completed 5. As for those Dao inscription masters in the lead, they only managed to complete 4 at most. I am done. Qin Yun looked at Jian Shitian and said with playful smile. He is now very tired. His eyes are filled with fatigue. Luckily, his mental power recovery speed is very fast, so he can continue to endure. Those Tao inscription masters who are doing their utmost to hurry up are all dumbfounded. They are all cursing in their hearts. They painstakingly carved runes, but at most they can only complete 4. But this little demon, who is not even Xian martial realm, has used some unorthodox path and completed 5. This means that this competition's first place is obtained by this little demon. Although Jian Linglong is very happy, she is even more amazed. She also wants to learn this secret technique. Now everyone wants to know what kind of secret technique it is. It can actually accomplish this kind of impossible thing. Time finally ended. Jian Linglong and the other 5 Tao inscription masters have all completed 4 pearls. And Qin Yun has 5. The first place will certainly be his. Sword Sect Master, are his pearls up to standard? Is the finesse enough? An old man asked in a very unreconciled manner. I don't know. I will go check. Jian Shitian took out a mirror-like thing and walked over to check. After he checked, his expression revealed shock, and he said in amazement, 7th level finesse. Carving King Grade Xian rune with 7th level finesse, this is a very high level. Those group of Tao inscription masters don't dare to believe it. They all walked over to check. After they checked, the result is the same. All of them have 7th level finesse. The finesse of the 5 pearls is the same. This really causes people to feel astonished. This little demon, could it be that he has Xian Master Inscription Spirit? He is so young, yet his finesse is so high. It must be so he can carve Xian runes so fast. Moreover, the finesse is so high. He can even teleport runes. It must be because he has Xian Master Inscription Spirit. This damned little demon actually has Inscription Spirit. Damn it. We painstakingly studied for thousands of years, and we can't even compare to a little demon with Inscription Spirit. A3, this is fate. Those Tao inscription masters all let out long and sorrowful sighs. By saying this, other people won't say that they are inferior to a little demon because that little demon has Inscription Spirit. Inscription Spirit is a very heaven-defying thing. After mastering it, one can carve corresponding runes. Not only the speed is very fast, the finesse is also very high. Therefore, now everyone is convinced that this heaven-defying youth has mastered Inscription Spirit. Even Jian Linglong, Yang Shiyue, and others also believe that Qin Yun truly has Xian Master Inscription Spirit. Qin Yun truly doesn't have it, but he also did not deny it. Otherwise, with how awesome he is, it would be too unreasonable. Because there are a few people who have completed 4 pearls, they need to be evaluated by finesse. After the test, those people who don't understand inscription understood why those Tao inscription masters are so sorrowful. Because their Xian rune finesse is 5th or 6th level. In order to speed up, they don't control finesse. 4 Tao inscription masters, carving finesse of 5th or 6th level is very shameful. Only Jian Linglong is a bit better. She has a pearl with 7th level finesse. The others are all 6th level, so she got 2nd place. Qin Yun is also scared by the finesse of those Tao inscription masters. They are actually so bad. The reason why he can guarantee finesse is because of the mental resonance Xian Pen. The mental resonance Xian Pen can increase his finesse by at least 1 or 2 levels. It is truly a miraculous thing. Qin Yun and Jian Linglong's group took 1st and 2nd place. You're tuning in to the Warrior Lore YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.